last chance for romance here. Otherwise, we're just going to film and then put it up. Is it live? Really?
I centered my chi. I centered my chi.
You made it happen. We've been having problems with our TriCaster that doesn't want to try. It's like, not today. Every third show.
I'm tired.
It won't go live.
I centered the chi, though. I sent the energy.
Dude, you made it happen. This is a rare wake and bake day.
I know.
I don't do this.
You don't?
No. I get shit done first, usually.
Can you not get shit done when you wake and bake?
I kind of fuck off things. If I get high at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, what's important, really?
I get stuff done.
Really?
Yeah. I have I'll do my cup of coffee and a joint and I'll get some stuff done. I joke that it's makes me super motivated to do not a goddamn thing, but I get stuff done. I mean, all the stuff I get done is I vacuum 7 times. I cleaned my apartment 4 times the other day.
That's a meth thing. You sure someone's not slipping meth into your weed?
Come on, let's not put all the rumors out there now. But you got any, bro?
Eddie Bravo used to say that about girls. If he was dating, because Eddie used to work at a strip club and he dated a lot of the gals that were performers there. And he said, you really know when a girl's a meth head because you go over her house and it's always clean. She's always clean and they can never clean enough.
Maybe I'm a meth head or just a Virgo.
Apparently it's speed freaks, not meth head. I'm sorry, speed freaks. When people are on speed.
Maybe coffee is the thing that does that to me and then I just get focused from the weed. There's not 1 ounce of dog hair in my house.
Really?
Keep that shit fresh.
That's crazy. You have 50 dogs. You're a crazy dog lady.
I do. I have 3 dogs. Wait, don't you have a pack of chicken in your backyard?
Dude, I used to.
What happened to them?
Coyotes got them all.
I thought you were up with the bow and arrow.
No, we had an issue where our chicken coop burnt to the ground.
Oh, fuck. During those fires? Yeah. You lost your ladies?
No, we didn't. They managed to fly out and they were in the yard. We lost 2 of them because we couldn't round them up to get them into the chicken pen because we got a new chicken pen, but it wasn't as big. And then
they were too good for
coyotes ate those 2. And then they realized that they're all in this one pen. And one day when we were gone, they opened it up and got in and killed all 9 of them.
How they open them up?
They pulled it apart with their teeth.
Yo, dogs are, even domestic
dogs.
Ones.
Domestic dogs, but
they're smart.
The difference between a coyote and a domestic dog is the difference between a hardened criminal on death row and a baby.
No, you're 100% right. It's the experience and what you had to do to survive.
All they have done is survive.
Yeah, and murder.
They don't have a house. No one's feeding them food. I mean, they're fucking little wolves.
Yeah, and it's literally dog eat dog world out there.
Yeah, what was the gentleman, Dan, Coyote America, the author? God damn it.
Was he a dude who lived amongst the wolves?
Yes, Dan Flores. No, he's a wildlife biologist and a historian.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the history of coyotes and wolves in North America. Apparently all wild dog species came from North America. Mm-hmm. Even jackals and shit like that. They made it across over there somehow, during the Pangaea period or some shit.
What'd you call me?
Pangaea. Do you know what that is?
It's an era.
No,
right?
Yeah. It's when they think that all of the continents were connected together.
Oh yeah, we were one flat Earth then. It was one flat table.
I think it was flat.
No, it's obviously not.
A giant chunk, and then the rest was water, and then it spread out, which is fucking weird.
That is
weird.
What is
happening?
How did that? And also, is that happening on our insides? On it's obviously on a cellular level. Everything's just splitting and being torn the fuck apart.
There it is. Here's the modern Pangaea map.
Whoa.
This is modern.
The modern country separations and all that because
this is what it looked like if you brought it. I thought there's morons out there.
I was going to say, is that South
real.
America? What is that?
I thought there was some knuckleheads that thought that. Is that really all of the continents together?
Whoa.
It shows you how much goddamn water there is.
So much water.
That's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Because you really like to think that we're all dirt and not as much water.
It's so much water. It's all water. It's like a little speck in a huge-ass ocean.
That's what's really crazy is those ground-dwelling motherfuckers that figured out how to suck all the fish out of that water.
I know.
It's crazy.
That just to be able to get those suckers out, sometimes with your bare hands. And then they were like, yo, we need something. We need a smaller situation.
I think until they came up with the nets and stuff like that, I don't think they were real effective. I think they just got what they got and they ate that, but the populations were fine.
Yeah.
But in the last, 150 years, they've been using nets. They just jacked that whole ocean.
What do you think happened to the dude who figured out the hook? He probably got all the pussy in town. The dude who like hooked the fish, he was getting all those fishies. He was getting the ones that were way deep.
The kind of pussy that you would get back when you invented a hook,
God.
you don't want it.
But now, in your modern mind, you don't. But back then, you're like, yo, this is fresh.
Fresh?
It only smells like must and dead
did you
rat.
Do you become African American? Something's happening to you. It's wake and bacon. It's taking you to another level.
It takes you to another level for sure. Yeah, I get back to my roots.
Let's guess. How long ago do you think they invented the fish hook? Did they even know?
I'm gonna say it's a really old invention.
Super old.
It's like arrowhead time period.
Yeah,
That's very
exactly.
close to like
native before pre-Native
those would've been
Americans.
laughter.
Those
but-
bitches would just break. If you think about a big fish hooking like a little thin, what would they make it out of? Bone, probably? Must be bone.
Maybe
Bone's pretty
bone.
hard.
Yeah.
But you would think
Stone would be too heavy. That shit would
it
just sink and
Well, it would also break.
I wouldn't be able to
Stone
hook it well.
Yeah.
It must have been bone.
I bet it was bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bones get brittle, especially after like, they're off the body and they start to calcify and all that.
Look,
How old do you
Wood.
think it is? It's got to
What's
be
that?
really old.
juniper wood, it says.
Juniper wood was the first one.
23,000 years ago.
Jesus
Wood?
Christ. There it is.
Norwegians.
Yeah, those
The oldest
Vikings.
fish hooks.
Island.
They were made from sea snail shells.
Oh, that's
What?
pretty
This is
crazy.
there's a bunch of information I'll put together in this
In
one little
Okinawa
paragraph.
Island, dated between 22,380 and 22,770. Isn't that crazy that they get it that close? They're basically in an inner, give or take 80, 90 years, 100 years.
I know.
They're in
How
that
can they even?
neighborhood.
It's like is it carbon dating? I mean, that's the only thing I remember from high school. How do you date it back? Do they find? Is it like a forensic thing where they grab a fly and they're like, yeah, this was 6 years ago because of the juices on the wings?
I think there's like a bunch of factors. Like one of them is the dirt that's around where they find
Right.
it. Like if they find it on the ground, then it's covered with dirt over hundreds and hundreds of years. They could take some of that dirt and
Test it?
Yeah, they
And
can
see
test
what's in it?
They're trying to test. I think
Whoa,
that's crazy.
I want those as earrings.
Is that a fish hook?
Yeah, I clicked the.
That's how the shells?
source from
Yo,
the-
those are fresh.
Wow.
Those are really nice. I would rock those.
Would you?
Yeah, at the comedy store.
Oldest fish hook found in Okinawa. Wow, 23,000 years ago. That's crazy.
And so they're saying that the oldest fish hook is linked to the Norwegians. I would think Japanese.
This says Okinawa.
Yeah.
The Norwegian thing was saying that, and up until the 1950s, they were still using wood. And
I see.
I think it was just like a added fact.
Yeah,
wonder-
Japanese makes sense.
I wonder if they all figured it out at the same time, different spots in the world. I wonder if it's one of those things like, there's just some weird thing. Who is that? Is that Rupert Sheldrake? It's the morphic resonance theory. He's got this weird theory that I think the idea is that if a rat learns a maze on the East Coast, rats on the West Coast will learn that maze quicker.
How? Like a
They don't know. They don't
collective
know.
consciousness amongst the rats?
As weird as it sounds, there might be some sort of strange connection that all rats share. And not just all rats, but all living beings. His argument was that if this is demonstratable with a rat in a maze, that if they did something like with human beings, if they could figure out a way to prove this, it's likely what's happening. Is that like he brought up a bunch of different factors like inventions that are simultaneously taking place like all over the world. Like one
That's strange.
Yeah, you can attribute some of that to education, right? Like
Yeah, definitely
people found
education, what's
out.
going on, like the trends that are happening in education. But
But they also think there might be something else going on underneath the surface.
like on a different realm.
Like if we're all a species and you're on one side of the world, you learn something, the people on the other side of the world have like greater access to it in some weird way.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah.
That freaks me out. That's like Matrixy shit right there.
But it's also unprovable, and you bring it up to real scientists, they get upset with you. But what's
it's
interesting
like
though is the map thing, the maze thing with mice and rats, because I think see if that's been proven. I'm pretty sure
What
it
maze
has
thing?
been. That if you show a maze to a rat on one side of the country, they learn it quicker on the other side.
I don't understand how that can even be a thing.
Well, there's another one that's really interesting, but I don't know how much of this is just because they didn't observe it before. But they've noticed that apes are starting to use tools.
Like cell phones to text each other?
No, not that yet.
Weren't monkeys using
Just
tools?
blow horns. They get on top of it. No, but apparently they use tools like to get like they'll stick sticks into ant hills to get ants, but they also use rocks to break things open.
Were monkeys doing that before? I would imagine apes would follow suit.
I think what they're saying is they're saying officially that they've entered into the Stone Age.
Oh boy!
So like if we are watching, if you saw a human evolve from being a person that whatever the fuck we used to look like when they first figured out fish hooks,
grunting
to today, there's many generations of change and all sorts of different shit that we learned, that we are watching literally the birth of that separation between like the regular chimps that are just chilling in the forest to the chimps that are starting to figure out tools and weapons.
Right.
And things. Like the first day we see a chimp make a fucking spear, sharpen it up and stab another chimp to death.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
So you're saying chimps are becoming woke? Is that what's happening?
I think
like they're becoming enlightened and smarter?
I don't think just chimps. There was one with an orangutan. It was amazing. Orangutan was spearfishing.
No.
Oh, dude, you got to see it.
That's a nightmare. I mean, it's really cool, but like...
It's a beautiful photo.
They're just going to be walking down the highway with like a briefcase soon?
I don't think it's going to be there.
That's freaky, man. That freaks me out.
But it is...
so we're witnessing evolution.
They're learning things. And this one, I think the issue was that this orangutan had watched fishermen do this. So he had apparently watched some fishermen like stand on a ledge and stab fish. So he decided to try to figure it out himself.
That makes sense. I mean, that's how all creatures essentially, I mean, puppies, kittens, they all learn. It's just, it's to a limit. They don't get past that sort of being able to use tools.
Did you get that picture?
That's wild.
Yeah, it was bringing up video too, so I thought there might have had video of it, but
my dog opened his
not what it is, so
dog food container when I was gone.
Damn.
A twisted.
One? Like,
yes. I don't know how he did it. I got to get a camera, but I came home and that top was twisted off and his belly was like was huge.
Look at that. Look at that picture. The orangutan spearfishing. I mean, that's crazy. If you saw that in a movie, you would say that is fake.
That looks like a still from Jungle Book.
It's amazing. It's an amazing photo.
Wow.
We should get that photo framed. Jamie, get a copy of that photo and let's do that.
That's really cool.
Frame that fucker.
You should get that framed.
I talk about this picture all the time.
That is so wild.
It's so fascinating.
It really looks like the Jungle Book.
Have you ever had your 23andMe done? You don't want to know?
I thought about it, but like, how accurate is it? It's like,
what's with the science?
You're just going to trust a piece of paper that comes back? I wanted to go to the lab and see who's doing this. Like, how do you know you're not just getting some, like, general packet that they're sending back to you? How do you know?
Why would they do that?
Because they got your money. Why would anyone do anything? Why are motherfuckers throwing fits in grocery stores? People are crazy.
You know what we're talking about? If you get high, like you get a little bit, just a little bit psychotic. Like there's something happens.
Yeah.
And you really do like enter into the world of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
You just did it. How do I know this science is good? How do
Have you done it?
Yeah, I did it.
And what did it say?
All kinds of stuff. Mostly stuff I knew, that I'm mostly Italian and Irish, but they put Irish and English together, which I thought was interesting. I have 1.6% African, 57% more Neanderthal traits than the average person.
I could have told you that.
I could have told
without even the blood work.
I saw that. I saw the paperwork, and I'm like, that figures.
I mean,
I knew there was something wrong.
Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that head. You're definitely Neanderthal. You're like, you're a link that's missing for sure.
No, it's just Italians in general. And don't be angry at my Italian people. Because
I'm Sicilian.
We're strange monkey folk. Right?
That should be your next special title.
When I was in Italy, we had cab drivers, and the cab drivers would like stick their head out the window, stare at someone's ass, like, look at this, a maron. They slow down and speed up. I was like, look at these fucking guys.
They are smooth.
But it's just they're savage. They're like, and then I thought about it. I was like, well, of course they are. Like they used to be the Romans.
Yeah, they used to be conquered everyone.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how gross life must have been like back then with people?
Gross. It's gross now, but it was really gross then without plumbing. And I will say your toilet seats are the warmest I've ever sat on.
Thank you very much.
So compared from here to the Roman era, nasty.
Yeah, what did they do?
Oils.
Their oil, their shit though, it went through the streets, right? Wasn't that part of the problem?
That's why everybody was infected and sick. And I mean, there's no system. They
couldn't
probably
figure that
used
out?
mulch. maybe like fertilizer to pour over it, but that was it.
You know what I bet it was like? It's like people who throw their cigarette butts on the ground, like someone will clean it.
Yeah, someone else will clean it.
Yeah.
Some little hand will grab it. Some little poor kid. So but I mean, there's no perspective. They were just in their own little.
Yeah, they didn't know.
They didn't
thought
know.
They were living as sophisticated as anybody that ever did.
Dude,
what is
can
this?
you?
There's shitholes?
Is that where you shat in?
That's a shat hole. And you're around a bunch of other people shatting.
Gross.
Like, hello.
That
Hello,
looks like
let's all
those
shit
things
together.
you put in your toes when you get a pedicure. That's what that little thing looks like.
Spread your toes apart. Yeah. Do you think that those folks had like curtains in between them when they shat?
Nah, are you
look
kidding
at that,
me?
Look at that corner seat. Look at the
No.
one upper. Yeah, right there. How about that one?
Knees touching.
Everybody's touching shit.
Yeah, they were all just in it having a conversation talking about the latest gladiator sports.
Yeah.
Can you believe the tiger got him? I don't know why he sounds like that.
When we were there, they were talking about the front rows. The front rows where all the rich people sat to watch the Coliseum. And that was when, if a tiger did get out, that's where they usually got to those people and killed a bunch of them.
Well, that's ironic. Just there to get a front row seat, and then nature's like, "Gagow, gotcha."
Look at these guys.
Look at that.
They're all jerking each other off.
Oh my God, they're shitting in sandals.
Oh, of course. They did everything in sandals.
Who's the guy with the satchel all the way on the left?
That's Plato.
Oh, okay.
He's covering his cock. Did you get it?
Okay, I get it. There's
just-
a dog shitting in the hole.
Oh, I bet that's not true. I bet dogs didn't shit in the hole. Look at that. Oh, there's shit on the floor. Shit on the.
That
everything's
is so
splattered.
gross. There's
Is that
a little
really what
mouse.
they were like?
What are these spoons for? This other
Eating
picture
shit.
Scooping the poop out of your
had 'em
butt.
with spoons too.
In case it gets
Oh,
clogged.
probably you scoop the water out.
This is a disgusting fact. So I'm gonna pull it up.
You probably would scoop
boy.
out the water.
Oh, boy.
Who's this guy?
Fine.
Some guy with a video on disgusting things with poop.
It's an audio.
Yeah, you guys have the nicest toilet here ever. I can't imagine. I mean, what was sex like back then? Even though they were in their own era and their perspective is limited because of, just where they're at, it still must have been gross.
This guy had to be disgusting. They must have smelled terrible. There was no soap.
There's no soap.
Well, they must have had soap
they
at one
must have
point
had
in
soap.
time.
It was like, it just wasn't as fancy as our soaps.
Yeah. There's no deodorant.
No deodorant. It was just oils and water.
What is going on here, Jamie?
I don't.
Are they holding hands?
Or they're sharing that spoon thing. I can't tell
What
what the
is
fuck
the
the spoon
spoon?
is.
That
What
guy
is
looks
the
like he's
spoon?
in a
I don't know
real
if that's what
moment.
they wipe with, or if they
Yeah, that
pour
guy's-
water on it. Or
That looks
something.
like little Dickie and Cosby.
Here's the other thing, too. Why not be a little further apart, boys?
Yeah, why are they so close?
Hey, fellow with the robe. How about you scoot over? There's a couple extra
You gotta
stalls.
share that spoon. You don't want to be reaching.
Oh, what
Maybe
is
he
the
was all the way
spoon there?
over.
Are you pouring that spoon on your butt to break
He
things
was
loose?
He was down a couple seats, but homie needed a hand to hold.
I think what that was is they would take that spoon and they would wash their hands. They'd use their hand to wash their butt.
That's so barbaric,
That's
man.
why I think you're not supposed to shake hands with your left hand in some cultures. I think to
because
this
that's your
day.
butt wiping hand.
Yeah. So you would take the water, you'd pour it in your hand. If I had to guess, then you lather your butthole.
That's disgusting. I mean, why not grab a leaf? Those fuckers were wearing leaves anyways as
I don't think
outfits.
they were wearing leaves.
Weren't they? A
at that point in time.
couple dudes were running
I think
around
they
in a leaf
passed.
shirt and a leaf outfit.
I think the leaves are something they added to those Roman statues when people got.
Mad about the peonies.
They got a little weird. They got a little modest.
They were sensitive. They were modest then
Yeah.
without any plumbing.
Well, I think they just decided that dicks were bad somewhere along the line.
I decided that a long time ago.
All right. So they
What's
had
up?
a sponge on the end of a stick. They would wipe themselves.
Oh, that sounds great.
So you shared a sponge?
You would share it?
Christ.
I think so.
No,
Oh,
a
hey, bro,
communal
you
butt
done with that sponge?
Oh man,
jeez.
Dunking that
no,
water.
no,
rinse it
no,
out a little
no,
bit.
Well, I'll
not a
tell you
communal
what.
butt sponge.
Since we got these toilets that actually clean your butt with warm water when you press a button,
It's
I'm
the
like,
nicest.
well, it's also the cleanest. Like, what are we doing? Smearing shit around. All you're doing is like smearing some
You
of
are
it off.
everywhere
My
on your
thought is,
face,
like,
on the handles.
If shit came out of your nose, would you be comfortable just smearing it like that and just give it a good wipe?
Are we
and
in
then go
Rome
out?
or are we in
Like right now?
Ventura, California?
Yeah.
No, I'm a very clean person. I wet nap that bunghole whenever I can, all day long. Keep it crisp.
Good move.
Keep it crisp and clean.
Do you think that you would use one of those toilet things?
Hell no.
You wouldn't?
Absolutely not. You'd see me crapping in the woods.
No, I mean this one, the one we have.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's the most luxurious
Get one of those.
pee I've ever taken in my life.
Congratulations.
There was like a remote control.
Yeah.
That's like the upper echelon of society crap right there. It's very fancy.
It's not that expensive.
Really?
No, it's not. I mean, for what it does, it's like very, very valuable.
At first, I was confused because there was a couple
What is it,
seats.
a Bondell? What's it called?
Brondel.
Brondel?
Yeah.
Say, give them some love. I think they gave it to us for free, too.
There's a remote there, too.
Brondel.
With a bunch of settings. Brondel?
Yeah.
It's a very nice toilet.
And that's like a model from like many years ago. They have it nailed. They had it nailed like, oh, no, these are recent. These are ones that we bought when we got the studio, right? Yeah.
It wasn't too hot either. It didn't feel like someone was just sitting there. You know, you ever have that experience where it's like,
Oh, that's weird.
There was a butt just here.
Right, there's a pleasure that you don't want. I don't want to feel good. I'd rather just see the uninviting and
Right, I don't want to
cold.
stay here.
All the bacteria is long since abandoned. All the crabs.
Do you like only crap in certain places, or will you go like? Because on the road you travel a lot. Like you just got to go when you got to
do
go.
what you got to do.
Do you do what you got to do?
Yeah, I'm not scared to
You're not
take a shit
discriminating?
in public. No.
But not even just being Joe Rogan and like being next to the person who's like,
What are you going to do?
I heard
We're
Joe
all
Rogan.
just shitting. Yeah.
Have you seen the bathrooms like at Venice Beach though? Are you going in there?
I had
What-
to once.
Are these
Hold it.
public toilets in
Yeah.
Venice
Oh.
Beach?
Yeah.
Oh, see, whenever you deal, then that smell of homeless.
Yeah, there's a
that wino pee
That's
smell.
Rome. That is Rome.
There's a thing where you got piss-soaked clothes that people have been wearing forever. You know that super ripe, pungent, homeless,
Yeah.
crazy person smell?
It's the most thick
Yeah.
smell ever.
It's a weird smell.
But then
'cause
you
it's
get
really
used to it.
similar. But it's real similar. Like this is what when you get, it's usually a person that's got mental illness and they piss themselves or shit themselves and they get this really deep, horrible odor to them.
And then they don't even know.
But it's so similar. It's
It is similar.
It's like same. It's like the same smell. Like BO, like really bad BO. It's almost always the same kind of smell.
You've been to a
It
Fish
is.
concert, right?
Oh Jesus!
Exactly
a
what it
Fish
smells
concert
like.
First of all,
BO?
that's the main reason
God.
why I've never been to a
That
fish
sounds like
concert.
it would
Exactly what it
smell
smells like.
terrible.
I would imagine. Yeah. We're just using salt rocks to clean our pits.
You
We
know-
found out that modern industrialized deodorant is really just a plot.
It's just a plot. And you know what else? Like, furthermore, to your point, they really abuse the chemicals and the ingredients. So this is like cruelty free.
Yeah,
Like
free.
nobody's like offended while they make the product.
Yeah, you either get it all natural, which is like rocks. Have you ever seen those? They're
Yeah.
like mineral rocks you're
I
supposed
used to
rub
use
in
those.
your
They
armpits.
don't work for
they
shit.
don't work at all.
They just make you smell like a salty homeless person.
Yeah, what is does salt in your pits work? Is that what people do?
You know what works?
What?
If you don't have a deodorant or anything, lemon, citrus. It's a,
Really?
antibacterial, natural.
No shit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Spritz some oregano oil on that. That's also antimicrobial, natural antiseptic.
Eucalyptus oil is too.
Yeah, put some oil, some mint.
Yeah.
Don't
there
put
you
the
go.
mint in your nether regions though. That might hurt. Might hurt the
Yeah.
cooch.
I use
Might burn the kitty.
A soap called Defense Soap. It's all made with natural oils.
Yeah,
And
that's the best.
the idea is designed for grapplers because grapplers get like skin scratches and infections and a lot of ringworm and shit.
Gross. Have you
yeah.
had ringworm?
Oh, a bunch of times.
What?
Yeah, I've had ringworm. I've had staph twice, and I had ringworm, I think, 3 times.
Isn't that basically
More
when you
than
like
3 times because I've had it on my feet. It's basically the same thing.
you
If
poke
get it
your
on
finger
feet.
and poop and scratch, right? That's science.
You are a doctor, clearly. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Isn't ringworm like from like
It's
poop bacteria?
I don't think so. I think ringworm is just a parasite, and it's what happens is it gets through. I think it gets through broken skin or
Yeah.
scratched skin, and then it forms this weird ring, like a bullseye. It's
Dude.
really fucking gross.
I can't deal with it. Like shows like the monsters that inside of me. I don't want to know.
Ugh.
Someone sent me a link. It was Josh Wolf sent me a link about the little like mites that are in your eyelashes. I don't
my
want to
God.
fucking know.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't even handle people in their cars in the 405. I don't want to know about fucking mites in my eyelashes.
Imagine if you could just see on the 405 as you're driving how many people have lice. If there's like lights on in the
dude.
cars.
There should be. That's the future. That's what we need. I don't want to know your followers. I want to know how many lices you have in your fucking neck.
Lice is a weird one because lice is around when I was a kid, but
everyone
it's not
gets it.
around. First of all, I can't get it anymore. Thank you.
I know you're immune.
I'm lice free.
You're impervious to lice.
But when I was a kid, I was like, when are they going to figure this lice thing out? Because apparently adults don't get it. So when are they going to... What
Really?
the fuck? No. Adults hardly ever have lice. When was the last time you had your hair checked for lice?
Well, I'm not hanging out napping in a kindergarten where the children are riddled with it. But
That's
if I
the thing.
did...
How are the kids getting it?
Because they're rolling around going head to head talking about,
There's got to be patient zero. What the fuck's going on with patient
who's
zero?
patient zero?
Some little kid. With...
Probably some rich kid whose parents neglect him and he's had him in there for
he's
a
got
long
lice.
time. Yeah, he's got rich lice.
Yeah.
Rice.
You think that's funny? Marijuana distorts your perception.
It really does. It does. It's kind of it's amazing medicine for your brain.
It's super weird when you're not high and you're watching people that are, and you're like, this seems unattractive.
Is that what's happening right now?
No, we're both high. All three of us.
Oh, that's right. Jamie's high too.
Jamie, he's very irresponsible.
Are those oven mitts on your shirt, Jamie? Oh, that makes me want like a grilled cheese sandwich. I don't know why.
Boom.
Yeah. What is that?
Johnny Cupcakes.
Oh, cool.
Shirt.
Wouldn't it be amazing if grilled cheese sandwiches were super good for you?
Oh, God, it's my one thing that it's my food, like the one thing.
French fries. Imagine if French fries were the shit. It's like they found out that it actually turns your age back.
The sweet potato
Fries
fries, is
do?
that like a trick? Does that work? Are those-
Yeah.
No.
Because it's the fry part that's the worst. If you just had the sweet potato fries, bake them, you're good. It's not as bad.
I think it depends on what kind of oil you cook it under, but I think whenever you cook anything in hot oil, there's something about the way the oil breaks down that your body's like, what
I think it gets carcinogenic, doesn't it?
I don't know, but I like when you use big words. like when you pretend you're a
Cancer
doctor
causing.
again. Imagine if this is your doctor. The doctor's like, hey,
Listen.
doc, do you think I should eat French fries? Doctor's like, I think it's carcinogenic, right? You're like, God damn this health plan. Fuck you, Obama. Fuck your singer pay care.
You know
Shit.
what? You can't afford health care. Come over to my house. I'll let you know if you're carcinogenic or not.
There's something real gross about people that are like, oh, well, get better health care. Go get better health care.
Yeah, like it's just readily available.
But that's one of the grossest ones when you don't feel for fellow citizens in our community that don't have health care.
I know.
I didn't have health care forever.
I just got
most
it
of my
a
life.
week ago. Yo, I got it a week ago and I booked all the appointments.
Did you?
Everything. I got the kitty cat checked, got the teeth checked.
Nice.
Eyes.
Were you worried about the teeth? You ever have the feeling like you have a cavity, like a phantom cavity? Like, shit.
Yeah.
Why does my tooth hurt? Do I have a fucking cavity?
I definitely did. My teeth were like crevasses.
Oh, did you have a bunch of cavities in there?
Yeah, she filled me like 4 times because
Were
I
you
haven't
eating
been
candy?
because healthcare is ridiculous.
Were you eating candy?
No, I wasn't eating candy.
Why are you getting all these holes in your face?
I don't know. I think like, changes in my life. Maybe I got ringworm from you. Changes.
Yeah, little kids get it all the time.
They do.
Oh, dude.
Because they're rolling in dirt.
I'm going to blow your mind away.
Okay.
Hookworm was super common in the South, and it literally diminishes your capacity for thinking. So the idea
Maybe
of
I
like
got
the
a couple of those.
slack-jawed Southern dumb person.
Theo.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's Theo, I'm sorry. I didn't know she was going to do that. I would never have her on, bro. You know I love you.
I love you, Theo.
No, not Theo, but maybe people Theo knows.
His relatives.
If you had to say it in a Theo Vaughn voice, like maybe a few people that I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all hookworm victims.
What? So how do you get hookworm?
Walking around barefoot.
Oh, I mean, there's just too many opportunities to get these worms in your body.
Oh, for sure.
That's so gross.
Like when you see dudes who go to like some foreign country and they get scratched and they come back and a bot flies glowing out of their head.
And their belly flying out.
Yeah. A kid just died recently in India. I think it was India. He got a infection. He was having headaches, and it turns out worms from pig feces had made it all the way up into his brain, and they were making cysts all throughout his brain.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I mean,
and then he
where
died
did he
shortly
get that?
thereafter. They said it was so bad they couldn't even give him deworming medication because if they did, they were worried his brain would start bleeding, and that he would suffer from a stroke. What?
I am not going to sleep tonight. All this worm talk.
What is it, Jamie?
Terrible.
Cystocirrhosis. Is
Pull
what
those
it's called.
pictures
I'm trying
up.
to find the picture
They
in
have
the
pictures
article.
of the dude's brain, and it's just like filled with cysts.
Oh God! Why are we looking at that?
Because we're high, and it's like 10 in the morning.
Oh, you know what I was saying before? I forgot to bring my fanny pack. You gave me one of your
Yes, I
fanny
did.
packs, and I travel with that everywhere.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it.
It's the most
I'm trying to spread the word.
resourceful
People
thing
think
ever.
I'm joking. This is my fanny pack.
I know.
fucking wear this for real.
I have the same one, and a couple people have talked some shit, and I was like, "You better step back.
Step back.
Step back." I've got
it
my
looks
pharmacy in there. I've got my whole thing, so I can be a doctor on the road.
Oh, do you have a stethoscope?
I got a scalpel.
What's that?
He complained of having pain in his groin and swelling in his eye, and then they found out he had cysts all over his brain.
I mean, I have pain in my groin every week, but
Wah, wah. Look at his brain.
on the right, I'm assuming is the result.
Both of them. It's different views of.
They're both different views. Those little holes are all cysts inside his brain. Yeah, his brain is literally imploding. Although those little spots, those little white spots, those are all little cysts inside his brain.
That must have been painful.
Fucking pure agony. It must be pure agony.
And this was in India, you said? What country
Believe
was
so.
this? Man.
Was it India? Yeah.
You know,
fuck
that. And just imagine like people having not the access to healthcare in this country, but at least we're a little bit modernized. Being in one of those countries and being poor, you're fucked.
Yeah, you really are.
You're so fucked.
By swallowing microscopic eggs passed in the feces of a person who has intestinal pork tapeworm.
Bye. Never going to brunch again.
But think about that. It's not even just pork tapeworm. It's the eggs in the shit of a person who has the tapeworm.
Did you see what? No.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Holy hell.
And it's getting in your mouth from
I'm glad
shit.
I smoked a joint before this shit. I am in a pure panic attack.
Yeah. Don't eat ass in India unless that person is on anti-tapeworm medication.
Also, never eat ass again. I mean, this is a PSA for
Yes,
anti-ass
it's a PSA.
eating.
It is.
I told you I had E. coli a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was my life.
What were you saying, Jamie?
There's been a change in the way that the pork industry is going to be doing inspections. That the government's going to stop doing it apparently as of like early May, and the industry is now taking over.
Oh, that'll be
That's a
very
terrible
fair.
idea.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want.
This is one of those things where people that are all in favor of deregulating everything, you need to understand this shit like this happens. If these people cut corners, and we know people have cut corners before, maybe it's not all of them, maybe most of them are going to be great. People are going to die.
People are going to
get sick. They're going to get E. coli. They're going to get all sorts of fucked up things. 40% and replacing them with plant employees.
Oh my God.
Cutting the number of federal inspectors by about 40%. That is such a bad idea.
Well, looks like America and everywhere is going to get a whole bunch of hookworms. This is like having the mafia police the streets. This is like taking away.
There would be no limits on
establishments.
slaughter line speeds. Ugh.
That is so gross. No
They're
one
just
eat
trying
pork.
to make it quicker. Pork is a weird one, man.
Pork is a weird one. It's too risky, man. It's way too risky.
No, not even that. I mean, they're fucking smart.
Yeah.
That's one of the weird things. They're like smart like a dog.
They're like a 5-year-old, aren't they?
But they're maybe not your kid, like a 5-year-old.
Wow. Shots fired. Wow.
5-year-old of a doctor, a real
Arrow
doctor.
fired right into my reproductive heart.
I mean, your 5-year-old would be like
What do you think he'd be like?
stoner.
Rude. A, good point. B, rude. C, you're probably right.
I'm sure you'd have a great 5-year-old.
My kid would be chill. You know what? He wouldn't be beating up your kid.
But
He'd be
maybe
very
not.
nice.
You'd be surprised. My parents are hippies.
I know, that's true. I do know that, yeah.
My mom's a super hippie, so is my stepdad.
But pork, eating pig is weird because they are a very intelligent creature.
But here's the other weird part about it. You gotta kill them because they breed like crazy.
And in the wild, they go nuts.
They're everywhere in the wild.
Their tusks grow very fast. They
That's
become
what those
very
things are.
barbaric.
Those are tusks.
Oh my.
See that little tray right here?
Yeah, are those pigs? Or they look like.
That's a wild boar tusk.
Whoa.
That's from my friend Adam Greentree. He killed that in Australia. They have a problem with them in Australia too.
Wow. It's wild how hollow it is, but it's so strong even still.
Yeah, that's a big ass hook.
We should go fishing with this and see what we can catch.
Fuck up a whale with that.
Yeah, we would. We could definitely catch like a humpback or something with this puppy.
It's a weird thing. Their teeth they're shaped like these weird swords.
That is crazy.
Like,
and they grow so fast. If you release a pig, these things pop out in a couple months.
Yeah, they start.
That's
popping
wild.
out. Yeah, they start changing when they're not taken care of.
It's like remember that movie with Howie Mandel, Walk Like a Man? Do you remember that, where he was like
kind of vaguely?
He was like raised by wolves or something. That's kind of like almost the equivalent of him coming back to society, is releasing a pig and it becoming wild. Not that I'm calling Howie Mandel a pig, but he's a nice person.
He's the opposite of a pig.
Very nice gentleman.
But he's also like a super clean freak.
He's not getting ringworm or hookworm.
No.
He's not getting any of the worms.
But he might, because he like washes his hands a lot.
Too much?
Yeah, you can do too much and you kill your skin flora.
Yeah, you fuck up your fauna and flora. You get the imbalance.
What's going on here? What are you showing us?
Oh, walk like a man.
There's Howie Mandel. Wow. He's like a dog man? Is that the idea?
He was like raised by creatures in the wild, and this lady, because, women, especially a white lady, is trying to like, save him. She wants to save him and do good for him, and so he's just trying to acclimate to society.
So strange.
Great stoner movie, by the way.
What year do you think this was?
89?
7.
87. Yeah, I remember this movie.
Mandel's been around for a minute.
He's been around, and he looks younger now than he did then. Dudes, you fucking dudes.
Maybe it's washing your hair. Maybe it's a good move.
Shaving
hands.
it? Oh, washing your hands. Yeah, it probably is a good move.
His hands like crazy. Maybe
Can't be too clean though. We're very clean in this society. We can't handle like natural bacteria that exist in nature. It fucks us up. We're gonna end up just murdering ourselves because of how clean we are.
I think much more likely we're gonna develop resistant strains of bacteria that are murderous.
We already have those.
Cleaning everything. There's a new one that they just. Did you see that thing?
That flu virus. That's like
that article. There's an article that just came out about some mysterious infection that's been murking people.
That's because we're too clean. We should bring back the Roman toilets just to level it all out a bit. Have a couple of them sprinkled around.
I don't think that's a good.
Just a couple of them. Maybe one in a park.
What's the difference between those and a porta potty if you like work on a construction site?
I can't hold a hand in a porta potty.
Do you ever go to like a music festival?
Fuck no.
And use one of them when you shit that blue liquid? Like,
I'm not doing that.
That's a low point.
I'm not doing that so I can get that worm that Theo's cousins have. I'm not doing that shit.
You don't do it barefoot. What are you showing me, Jamie?
What festival are people at that aren't barefoot? That's what everyone does.
Candida auris, the deadly fungal infection resistant to treatment. That's what it's called.
Ooh, that sounds
Candida,
bad.
Yeah.
Or it sounds like a new solar system.
Unstoppable fungus killing the world's banana supply. Man addicted to sniffing his socks.
Separate link.
Hold on. Man addicted.
Separate link. That's a clickbait.
Man addicted to sniffing his socks develops severe fungal lung infection.
Oh
my God. That is not real.
This can't be real. This is like stoner news.
Here's another link. Socks aren't sexual, says Kiwi school girl.
This is how you fall down a clickbait clickhole real quick.
Also, who's writing these? Like Gary Busey? Who's writing these headlines?
How about this? How about what Tim Pool told me? Ready for this? You know those clickbait sites where you go to and it's like, you won't believe what she looks like now. And then you click on that and then you go to another one and it's just like never ending click, 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 click. They gather up all these clicks. Like if they have a site that's responsible for like 400,000 unique clicks a day, if they have something like that,
right,
they sell it to another company. Those clicks, another company attaches those clicks to their site and says, we get 100,000 unique views a day. They don't.
So they're not real. They're just
bought their clicks. You can buy clicks.
Dude, what world are we in right now? Buying clicks? I don't have time.
Please find out if that's true. I think it is.
It sounds
true.
Right?
I know what he's saying.
Tim Pool doesn't lie. He's and I know a lot of people right now are like, "What?"
I believe it. It's the
like,
same thing as
everybody lies.
People buying likes. People have done that, or like followers. It's the same.
Yeah, they definitely do that.
Internet
There's
science.
a way to do that. People get busted because like they don't have any interactions. Like so they'll put up something and like put up a video and the video gets like 1,000 views, but they have like 1 million followers.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. There's no that doesn't make any sense when the engagement doesn't match up with the people.
All kinds of dumb shit. The amount of time that I've wasted watching people's internet videos. So there's those little Instagram videos they make. Talking about their morning.
The thing you posted today about the Florida headline.
Oh my God.
That was like the Florida headline for sure. That was like what you said in the caption. That was legit.
Yeah, I was. I'm writing this bit about exotic pets, and when I'm in the middle of this bit, I just decided to start researching Florida.
What inspired you to write? Did something happen?
I'll tell you. I don't want to do the bit.
Right.
Otherwise, I'd have to. It says Florida man tries to start naked fight club at Chick-fil-A. A Florida man was arrested after he challenged others to fight and to stare at his genitals outside a Chick-fil-A restaurant.
What did Dan Bilzerian say? People from Florida just can't act right. Trust me, I'm from Florida. That's a good jab at himself. Points to Bilzerian for at least coming correct with that. That's funny.
That is a ridiculous headline.
It's ridiculous. Also, where can I sign up? It sounds fun. It's like Game of Thrones for meth heads.
Naked Fight Club?
Yeah, why not?
You want to go to watch from like a neighboring parking lot with binoculars.
Hell yeah.
That's what you want to do.
You want to tailgate that.
You want to be far enough away so if they start running at you, balls out, dick swinging, just keep your
like
engine
those Florida
running.
Zombies do.
Yeah. Keep your car in park, engine running,
Yep.
and then use those binos.
Absolutely.
Is that you?
No, I shut mine off.
Jamie?
Come
How
on.
dare you, Jamie?
I'm a professional, Jamie. With your oven mitt t-shirt,
There's
sir.
got to be video of that, right? If someone was out at a Chick-fil-A naked, there's got to be cell phone
If there's not video,
of that.
that's a
I'm
very
sure.
depressing fact. There
It's
has to
video.
be some video.
Video of almost any kind of interaction like that now these days.
It's people create interactions so that they can videotape them. Parents, man, they got to stop putting their kids on video. We got to stop. It's enough.
You say that, but there's a little kid that's like 6 years old that reviews toys, and he makes $20 million a year.
Multi-millionaire.
$20 million a year.
Opening Disney toys.
Just looking at toys.
Someone give me $100, I'll open up a box of, toys. I'll do it. 100 beans. That's it.
Nobody wants to see you open up toys.
All right,
You're
well,
not
fuck
a baby.
it. Then I'm going to find something else.
They want to see little cute kids.
I'll dress up in a diaper.
Wow, how's this not going to help?
Ah, fuck. I got to find another thing to make money.
You got to find another angle.
Yeah, that kid, he's making a lot of money.
I was going to be the YouTube toy guy.
There's a lady who does it with just her hands. A grown woman.
What does she do with her hands?
She opens things up. Same
She has
thing.
beautiful hands.
I don't know if they're beautiful. I don't know if
Does she pull
they're.
her feet out and start using her feet?
That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to open children's toys with my feet. Is that weird?
No, you should do it. You should do it and see which one gets better views. Do it with you with painted toenails and do it with you with kind of like neglected toenails.
Neglected toenails.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like little chips in your paint. This is the
There's
thing about
nothing
that.
sadder than a neglected toenail.
You say that, but it's also kind of hot because it's the kind of chick that'll take some chances. Like she's like she doesn't even have her toenails in order. She'll
What is she
abandon
doing?
wherever she lives. She'll move with you across the country.
She's crawling through
she'll-
parking lots? What's she
She'll
doing?
enter into a bank robbing scheme with you.
She's not taking care of herself.
She's got chipped toenails.
She
No
puts
big
people
deal.
first. That's a bitch who puts people first. Chip
Or
toenail chick.
She just can't get it together. Some people just never quite get it together.
They
They're
try.
always just like,
Right. Yeah, and then you see their toes and it's a reflection of their own downfalls. They're their own worst enemy.
or they have a job.
Yeah,
A
they're
real
too
job.
busy.
Too busy.
Mom with a job and a couple of kids. Who's got time to do nails then unless you're a rich
You gotta
wife.
do them yourself.
You got to do them yourself.
That's the nail thing is interesting.
Why is
right?
that?
Because here's why. Because it's like a service thing that people love. Right?
Yeah.
They love going and getting pedicures and manicures. The people that are into that shit,
Mm-hmm.
they love it. They love dunking their feet in the thing and then they get to talk to each other. But they would never want to do that.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things. It's like if you found out your mom was giving strange dudes pedicures, like that's her new gig, you'd be like, "Oh,
I'd be like, Mom, we got to go to the therapist. What's going on?
Well, we'd say, "Why do you have this job? Do you really
Yeah.
want to clean people's feet?"
What about it brings you joy? Because if you need money, like you might as well just slice mangoes on the side of the highway or something different.
But isn't that weird? That's one where people love getting it done, but to do it, would be like, ugh.
Well, I get my nails done regularly. I love it. It's very relaxing. But yeah, it's that weird thing where, I was saying this, it's like, it's one of those jobs that's worked by, non-white people for the most part, which I think is interesting. Don't you think that's interesting? As a woman who's gotten her nails done?
Entry-level jobs for people that are first-generation immigrant. That, like, what would happen realistically if all immigrants were removed from this country?
Everyone's nails would look like shit. And your clothes would look terrible.
They got rid of all the illegals, Everybody who barely speaks English out.
Restaurants would fall apart.
Everything
there'd be
would
no
fall
delicious food. There'd be no fun music. There would be.
There'd be some fun music. Stop it.
Some, but like, let's be honest.
Black
Bachata's a
people
lot
make
of fun.
The most fun music.
There's a lot of fun,
They're
like
Americans.
Wasn't
their idea.
Latino
but they're
music. That's
true.
true.
A lot of fun Latino music. That's true.
Not many like songs in like our culture can you do one of these and it fits. Especially at like a wedding. But yeah, everyone would be jacked up. No good food, no nails.
Do you like
Busted
Gypsy
nails.
Kings?
I don't know if I know that sounds very familiar. Put it on.
Who the fuck are you?
Is there some? You can't. Oh, it's right. It's too expensive.
No, it's not. We'll get this yanked from YouTube.
Oh, that's right. You can't put any music on.
Can't put anybody's content.
I think somebody sent me a song of Gypsy Kings recently.
They've been around forever.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Badass Latino band. And what I love it is because I can't speak Spanish. So when they're singing, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like whatever they're saying, it just sounds great. It doesn't have any like... I know there's emotion. I can feel the guy's emotion when he's singing, but I have no idea what he's saying. So I don't need to hear it. I just love the sound of it.
Yeah, it is very
nice.
The language is like very melodic.
Oh yeah.
Like Spanish, Italian.
Yeah,
those like Latin-based languages are very pretty to listen to.
There's a musical flow. Like you ever hear people from Brazil speak Portuguese?
I mean, I flick a bean to it all the time. That shit's sexy.
They have a way of talking. There's an up and a down. It's like a little dance.
Yeah, it is a little dance. And then people where I'm from, like Syracuse, it's like, you guys want to go get a sandwich? It's like you just don't want us to talk.
You know what it is? It's actually they're trying to keep people from breeding. It's like in the places that suck the most, they have the shittiest accents because they're trying to make everyone disgusting.
Well, I guess I'm not supposed to have a baby then.
I'm telling you, they're just trying to limit the numbers. They don't want overpopulations in places that suck.
There's probably some like legitimacy to what you're saying.
Dude, I'm a scientist.
Absolutely.
You're a doctor.
I'm a doctor and you're a scientist. Yeah. Anybody who needs some advice, just call us at 1-800. Good luck.
There's a new documentary by the guy who wrote Cocaine Cowboys. He did Cocaine Cowboys and a bunch of other documentaries. Billy Corbin.
Yep.
Billy Corbin.
You got it.
I don't. Why did I choke on his lame?
Need some water.
Anyway, Billy has a new documentary out called Screwball.
Yeah.
It's all about Alex Rodriguez and the steroid scandal. And one of the guys in it is a fake doctor who would wear a stethoscope around his neck. Like he got his degree in some janky overseas university and wasn't legal to practice medicine in the United States. But he would call himself a doctor, and he had like the stethoscope that he'd wear
out in public.
Well, in his office, he'd walk around with a stethoscope around his neck, like hanging around his neck, like just in case he's going to check your heart. Meanwhile, all he's doing is prescribing steroids. It was amazing.
He's got it.
This kid that was walking around, he posed as a doctor and had multiple patients and got arrested like a year or two ago.
Oh yeah.
I remember this.
Is in Florida. Same place. I guess it's in Florida too. It must be pretty easy.
Of course, it's in Florida.
Does his name say Malachi?
Yeah.
That's a creepy name. That's like Children of the Corn.
Right. That's like.
How do you pronounce that
demonic name? Malachi.
Malachi?
Yeah.
That is ballsy. Do you
wait a minute? That's not his real name. Malachi Love Robinson.
Why not?
Maybe.
That sounds like a character from like some sort of porno.
There he is, Dr. Malachi A.
Who's
Love Robinson,
PhD.
HHP-C, AMP-C.
HPV-
What are all those things?
HIV.
What are all those other things that he is?
Healthcare proxy, maybe some bullshit. AMP. I don't know what the hell. That sounds like a gas station in Kansas.
Let's read his thing. Hold on. It says Dr. Malachi A. Love Robinson is a well-rounded professional that treats and cares for patients using a system of practice that bases treatment on physiological functions and abnormal conditions on natural laws governing the human body. That doesn't even. That's a run-on nonsense sentence.
2 A's. Okay. You missed it.
Hold on a second. Dr. Love Robinson utilizes physiological, psychological, and mechanical methods such as air, water, light, heat, earth, phototherapy, food and herb therapy, psychotherapy, electrotherapy, physiotherapy, mechanotherapy, naturopath, corrections and manipulation, and natural methods or modalities together with natural medicines, natural processed foods, and herbs and nature's remedies.
I don't know what you just said. The only thing that was true about that was manipulation.
Well, how is this guy, like, who read that and went, all right.
Yeah.
We're in.
Yeah, who read that and was like, I need to make an appointment immediately.
We found the real doctor. All
Even
these
that
other
photo.
bullshit doctors that don't use manipulation.
What doctor goes like this in a photo?
All of them now. Imagine that became the new thing.
I would not go to that doctor.
Huh?
He had offices, so someone had to like rent him the spot. So they believed him too, not just the
He had
patient.
multiple offices?
He at least had an office.
You gotta think a guy who's that good of a bullshitter that pretends to be a doctor, actually gets patients, has got a stethoscope, got a website.
Is it that good?
But it's good enough that he's got patience. Like, it actually worked. Like, imagine being so crazy that you tell everybody you're a doctor. You don't know shit about medical practice. As you know, you read his little bio there, and you get offices, and then you get patients. You're treating patients.
It's the same as like religion. It's a similar approach. You just find people who need something, and they're gullible and they're vulnerable, and they'll follow you anywhere.
Or religion is either that or it's a part of your culture.
Yeah, right. You're born into it. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a cultural thing for sure.
It's when you hear about like a 45-year-old dude becoming a Mormon, you're like,
You're like, what happened?
What are you doing?
You're lost.
Maybe just have a great group of people that are also Mormons, and it's like, fuck it, I'll join.
I guess that would happen. Guys. You know, maybe even like with Scientology, that's what happens with people, like especially in Hollywood, they just get so desensitized, or like they get everything they want and they're looking for more. I need purpose.
If I was jaded, I would say that they think they're going to enhance their career.
You think so?
I used to think that. Because there's a lot of there was at least a lot of people in the film industry that were Scientologists.
Right. Have you ever gone to a meeting?
No, but I did go to one of those, they had like a conference tables, a folding table set up in San Diego, and they had like the two coffee cans with the strings on them that you hold on to.
Oh God!
And you know, like they ask you questions about your childhood and weird stuff, and
you say it into the coffee can.
No, you hold these things. It's called what's it called? An e-meter.
I snorted so loud.
It's called an e-meter. You hold on to it, and it gives you some sort of a reading on this fucking graph. It's totally non-scientific. It's horseshit.
Right.
But you know, the guy it was really interesting because the guy who was doing it must be just like some regular dude who's in the church that they make do it. It's not like he wants to do it.
Nobody wants to do that.
But you could tell he was like a volunteer because he was like, yeah, I mean, like maybe you have a problem with your dad or something. I don't know. Like, he wasn't really selling it at all.
So basically, how I am as a doctor,
right,
is what
That's how he was
selling the Scientology.
Yeah,
I want to go to a meeting just to see what it's like, just out of curiosity, just to be in there, you know, in that moment and see what the hype is about.
Well, there's a lot of money, right? You have to think that they're massive real estate holders. They've earned millions and millions of dollars, and they have tax-free exempt status.
Because it's a religion?
Yeah, tax exempt.
That's
they don't
some
have
bullshit.
to pay taxes. Oh, it's crazy. They sued and won it. Yeah, they sued the IRS.
See, this is the problem where on one side of the coin, like people are good manipulators. On the other side, people are idiotic to believe and deal with half of the shit that they believe and deal with.
See, I think there are a bunch of different things at once. You know, there's the wacky beliefs that L. Ron Hubbard, all that stuff that he created, but then there's also the Klan. It's
like the mentality, being a part of a clan, right? The tribal mentality.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's funny that the Ku Klux Klan, they kind of stole the word Klan. Like
right.
Like the word Klan, you say it, you get self-conscious. You know, it's the correct word for like a tribe of people.
Right, and it's not reserved for just a group of white supremacists. I mean, it definitely indicates a whole bunch of groups of people.
Like I used to play Quake competitively, and if you tell people how Quake teams are, that they're clans, they're Quake clans, people are like, what?
And then they were like, you mean like the KKK? You're like, no, just a group of people.
No, like Quake, you fucking idiot.
With a common mentality, that's it.
A band of people.
A band, yeah, brothers.
But that happens. People just take over something, and then that something becomes negative from then on.
Well, then they have a platform as well. You know, then they're like social justice warriors about it. You know, they're like cheering it from the rooftops and making tweets about it and how it's a fucked up situation.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's doing that.
Well, you know, like if you were to say any word, people are like, oh my God.
They could.
This person said this. It's racist. It's like, I was just saying Klan. I wasn't saying anything else.
But it's like the Hitler mustache. You just got to let it go. It's too tricky.
It is. If you get caught
anybody wants
up in
to wear the Hitler mustache now, like you can't.
What? Really?
You can't.
Who wants to wear it? Is somebody
Michael
wearing
Jordan
it?
wore it for a while.
That's right, he did.
That's right.
Oh my God, he did playing basketball. That's kind of
I
fun.
don't know if he was playing basketball. I think he was.
He wasn't. He was
For a
retired.
commercial, like a Hanes commercial or something, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, he
my.
had goddamn Hitler. You
that's
can't.
brazen.
You can't even when does it become a Charlie Chaplin? It starts as a Hitler. Like when it gets to the outer edge of the nostrils, is it a Charlie Chaplin?
Well, Charlie Chaplin had a Hitler. He modeled it after Hitler.
Did he?
Yeah, Hitler was a huge fan of Chaplin. Absolutely. There's some crossover
You
there.
mean Chaplin was a huge fan of Hitler?
Hitler was a fan of Chaplin.
Right.
And Chaplin just kind of, because Chaplin was a little bit of a rebel, man.
So why did Chaplin wear his mustache?
I think it's like a little tongue-in-cheek.
How Michael Jordan's Hitler mustache boosted sales at Hanes. Let me see that photo.
Wow.
Make that larger. Dude, that is so crazy. That is so crazy.
That is wild.
Even he had to give it up. Even Michael motherfucking Jordan
What
had
does
to
that
give it
second
up.
paragraph say?
Jordan camouflages the mustaches to a small extent with a corresponding soul patch under his bottom lip, but the lip beard appears to be exactly that, a beard, trying to disguise the Teutonic neighbor upstairs.
What a great sentence.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
sentence.
a great sentence.
It's Teutonic neighbor.
Teutonic neighbor. That's
I don't
really
even know
good.
what Teutonic means. Do you know what Teutonic means? I've never used that
It's
word.
capitalized too.
I would-
Well, hit it.
Maybe
Let's
like
see.
a-
Probably because it's not a real word and motherfucker thinks it's a
has to do
name.
with war or something, like some.
Okay, let's see what it says.
Relating to the two tones.
Relating to two tones,
Germanic
denoting
branch.
Germanic branch of the Indo-European language family.
I hate when
Relating to
that's
two
the
tones.
definition. You're
Okay,
like, what's
wait a minute.
Teutonic?
So go back to that. Go back to that statement again. Back
It's-
to the statement
Oh.
that we're just reading from. Yeah. Okay. It says a beard trying to disguise its Teutonic neighbor upstairs. How is that?
So maybe those people wore those stashes. Maybe Hitler got it from those
No,
people.
because it's Germanic.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, who's the?
Denoting a Germanic. Maybe it was a Germanic mustache.
Yeah, maybe it was a la mode of the times.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a bunch of people had Hitlers.
Kind of like how there's full beards now. This is a full beard the Hitler of our society. Just like a common
I
beard.
don't think so.
Can you imagine if somebody rolled around with a Hitler stash today? That'd be really wild.
You can't.
You can't. That's too much, right?
Yeah, but here's what's weird. And I've talked about this on stage too. Why is it okay to dress like Genghis Khan
Who's dressing like Genghis Khan?
if you want to do it for Halloween?
Why is it okay?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like it shouldn't be okay?
Well, you can't be a Nazi. You can't be Hitler.
Yeah, that's just
People won't let you.
It's also kind of lacking creativity. Like, you want to be a Hitler? It's like dressing up like a sexy baby. Are we really doing this? Is this
A lot of people
necessary?
are doing that.
No one needs to see sexy babies. No one needs to see a Hitler.
Well, slow your roll because some girls should definitely dress like a sexy baby.
Okay, so girls can dress like sexy babies, but I can't dress like a baby and open up packages on YouTube.
You could dress like a baby and open up packages on YouTube.
Okay.
No one's stopping you.
Okay,
You're
well,
like
I'm gonna
fighting
do
these
it.
invisible foes.
Because you just said that it would be cute, and now, before it wasn't, when I wanted to do it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't think you're serious.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't
we're all
serious.
joking around here.
Cut to this afterwards, and it's just 10 videos of me opening up packages of toys.
Yeah, those,
Just cereal.
yeah, in your underwear.
In my underwear,
With your
yeah.
feet, fucked up toenails.
With my terrible, terrible chipped toenails.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people have created a career just reviewing stuff on YouTube. Like those tech review guys.
They make a shitload of money.
They don't even have to have like degrees in electronics or in engineering or anything. They just have to have a love of tech. Like our friend, Unbox Therapy. First of all, Lewis. Like, think about how many views those videos get. His videos.
He's one of the top ones, but there's
Marcus Brownlee, who's also been
probably
on
50
here.
guys on there at least
Yeah.
that are doing it.
What are people
Austin,
getting
not
from...
Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what
It's
are they
weird.
getting?
What are they, like, as a viewer, to watch somebody else open gifts, that's like the worst part of Christmas morning, watching other people open gifts. You're like, where the hell are my toys?
People get really into it.
They do. It's
Yeah.
bizarre. Don't you think it's bizarre?
Flossie Carter's my favorite.
There's a thing that's
you know
going
who he
around.
is?
Yeah.
He's a jacked black guy who looks like a power lifter.
Yeah.
With tattoos on his hands.
Nice.
Like full out.
Yeah.
Right. And he uses like he uses technical terms mixed in with like slang. And he has a cat. He's got a cool little cat that's always like in the videos hanging out.
And he's an unboxer?
Yeah, he's a super knowledgeable guy.
Yeah.
Like, when he reads, like, when he's talking about like the different details and what cameras do and don't, but he does it in a funny way.
Right.
Like, he's very funny.
Yeah.
And it's like also knowledgeable. So if you're a dork like me and you're into like phone technology, and I'm really into phone technology. I'm always fascinated by innovations in phone technology because it's like I'm watching someone build a bomb. I'm like standing back like, where the fuck are they going next? Where is this going next? This is ruining us now. They want to make them faster and better and more.
Is he all hands too? Like
Yep.
she was saying? Yeah.
Yep.
He's all hands?
Yeah, it's just his hands on the...
So this is Flossie Carter. Shout out to Flossie.
As far as the feel, lightweight, super comfortable. You can easily wear these all day. And for the look, this is what they're going to look like when you're wearing them.
Neck tattoo.
Pretty fucking silly, but some people like them, some people don't. These really ain't my cup of tea. Now what I use...
He's got big hands. He's got manly hands.
Well, there's pictures of him on his Instagram. He's jacked. Like he lifts weights. He's huge.
What's his background?
I don't know.
That's wild.
But look at that.
that.
2,753,495 views were his top 10 truly wireless earphones. He's got a huge following, but it's because of that. Because he knows what he's talking about, but then on top of knowing what he talks about, he's kind of fun to listen to.
Yeah, his voice is interesting.
Yeah.
His voice takes up a whole room. Yeah. His voice is full.
It's a powerful voice.
He should do a TED Talk.
There's
Got
so
that
many
kind
of
of
those
voice.
fellas out there that are carving their own niche, and gals reviewing things, talking about things. Like there's so many different people doing shit like that now. It's interesting.
I guess it makes sense because there's such a huge space for the techie nerds to indulge in that stuff and become fans of that sort of.
Well, also, no one would have ever made that a television show. And if it was a television show, people might not have watched it.
Yeah. It's easier on YouTube where you can just click it at your leisure.
That's the beautiful thing about the on-demand.
It was Tech TV though, which is gone, so it's just sort of just replaced whatever.
Yeah, but Tech TV was never this in depth. They would go, they would gloss over things. They would have like a synopsis of.
It was still TV. They still had, they still did like commercials. I guess they
did everything like a television show. It was great. I loved Remote Control. I mean, not remote control. What was it called? Screensavers. Yeah. Remote control was the MTV show.
I was just going to say, I thought that was an MTV.
Jenny McCarthy and Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick, wasn't
he had a couple extra LBs on him.
Yeah.
And he had a soul patch then as well.
Did he?
Yeah, he had like a downstairs Hitler. Hitler in the basement is what that is.
You're allowed to have a Hitler in the basement.
Yeah, you can have Hitler in the basement, just not in the attic. It's too close.
But isn't it weird, though, that... I mean, not saying that anybody wants to dress like a Nazi. I don't want to just...
some people do.
I have to say that. But that if you dressed like a murderer from the past, like Genghis Khan or something like that, well, you actually would get in trouble now for cultural appropriation.
You know where you wouldn't get in trouble? Is at the Renaissance Fair. When they have like Heroes and Villains Day.
Depends on what you're doing with your eyes.
Go do it there.
If you got some squinty eye thing going on with tape.
Too far.
Right? Isn't that
You've
weird?
You've taken it too far.
But why is it weird that a physical characteristic like eyes, like small eyes, is like offensive to discuss? Isn't that fascinating?
It is fascinating, but
to recreate. I
think, is it offensive or is it people enjoy the feeling of being offended? I think there's a sweet spot in the middle there. Mm-hmm. I would beg to differ that some of the people in society who are offended by words, terms, sentences aren't necessarily truly offended as much as they want to say they're offended.
I am 100% on board with you,
so,
Ms. Peluso. Dr. Peluso, sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Peluso. I have a HPV, HD, PHI, ABD. People get offended.
People love
it's exhausting.
getting offended. They love it.
They love getting
fun.
offended. And you know what they also love doing? Not doing shit about it.
But in their defense, if you see like a movie where a dude is playing an Asian man, but he's a white dude and they do some malarkey with his eyes, you're like, motherfucker.
He said malarkey with his eyes. What, did they turn him into a leprechaun? Something Irish with his
like
eyes?
Charlie Chan
they did the malarkey with his eyes.
You ever see the fucking malarkey?
The fucking old
They
fuck
used that special effects malarkey and changed him into a Chinaman.
Oh, that goddamn leprechaun, that fucker.
You could be an Englishman. No one has a problem with calling someone an Englishman, but you call someone a Chinaman, and they go, "Whoa, you're getting weird there."
It's just
you're getting weird.
It's exhausting when people are offended, and then it's like girls being offended and writing articles about guys that are doing Me Too moments, but they're not going to the rallies. They're not involved in the community. They're not really like moving the needle. They're just screaming.
Is it good to go to rallies?
I think it's good to be also actively and physically involved in whatever movement you believe in. I think just saying it and posting it on Twitter is a facade.
But it's good for likes. You can get a lot of likes.
Boom. I mean, I guess there's some eyeballs on it. You're creating a conversation, but I don't know. I just believe in like walking the talk a little bit more.
What the fuck were we just talking about? That
Genghis
brought us to
Khan?
this? Oh, Chinese actors that get fucked out of roles by white people. They don't do that anymore, but they used to.
Yeah.
And one of the big ones was Charlie Chan. Charlie Chan was like a famous detective show. Remember that show?
Was it casted as a white man?
It was a white dude playing a Chinese detective that was like super wise detective.
That's busted.
But he looks like, like a white guy who eats good.
Like
he's
Matlock?
kinda thick. More like
Like the commish?
no, like that's him right there.
My holy hell.
Yeah, that was Charlie Chan.
I'm offended.
Yeah, he should be. He looks more like
He looks like a shitty magician.
he looks like Chewy from the Comedy Store. You guys don't remember Chewy?
That is offensive. The same thing happened with
Let me see that picture. Look at that. That shit is ridiculous.
I
What is
can't.
happening there? These
he looks like he runs a casino in upstate New York.
and you ever hear him talk? Can we play some of
I need to hear it.
Some Charlie Chan. It was very offensive.
Oh my God.
Dun dun dun. Let's listen to some Charlie
I
Chan.
can't, I'm shook right now.
What's that, Jamie? What do you
The
think?
same
What
thing
year?
happened-
What year do you think this was? 1945. It says.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50s. Scarlett Johansson had that whole issue. Remember, she was cast in that movie, and it was supposed to be an Asian role.
Yeah.
And people went crazy over
She
it.
bailed.
She
Well,
bailed.
Let's hear some of this. Here he goes.
I can't.
Yet already you have telephoned me. Boy, the minute I got your telegram, I started watching all trains. You contact mysterious Mr. Rouse? Sure. Picked him up the minute he got off the train. And Hodge, that's one of my men over there. He and I have trailed him for 7 hours.
The music.
No, you follow him? He couldn't help it. I figured you were about to
hard
make
R
an
on that
important
Rouse.
arrest, so we've kept close to it.
Look at his
that's
face. He
because-
doesn't even look remotely Asian.
Yo, they taped his eyes for sure.
They did some weirdness, but not much because
He looks like every housewife in Bev Hills, minus the facial hair.
the pulled back face. Okay.
Yeah, where you're like, take off 10 years.
But back then, this guy could get away with that. What's his face? John
Who's
Wayne.
the lady in the saran wrap?
She's a ghost or some shit.
Dude,
What's happening to her?
that is
I don't
bizarre.
even know if they had saran wrap back then. That could be just jizz.
Oh, shit.
A bubble of jizz.
Is that
on
what
her
you would
face.
do to wrap up food? Is just
You'd have to jizz on things.
spooge it and take it home
Just
after the
blow it up
party?
like a balloon. Put your food inside of it.
The new jizz.
What's up with
Food
her fucking
saver.
face? What is that shit?
What?
Dude. She's wearing like a glass veil or something.
Is that Shia LaBeouf? Is that
Imagine we
Luis
find out.
Gomez and Shia LaBeouf?
They're time travelers.
Isn't it great to live in this time where our movies are so much better?
But we're going to laugh in the future looking back at how stupid things are today. You just can't see it coming. Remember
you
when you
can't.
thought look at that guy.
That's a cool chair.
What is that dude? Is that another Chinese guy?
That dude
It's
is
not really a
serious.
Chinese guy?
I think he's got that's some terrible face makeup. I think added to him. I think.
That looks like Joey Diaz on acid. Look at that with that head wrap. That's fancy.
That looks like Tate.
It does look like Tate, a regal Tate.
Like an older Tate on acid.
Yeah, a Tate on
Angry.
acid,
Real angry.
ruling a kingdom after a couple divorces.
Yeah, he's like an 80-year-old Tate.
Yeah, that's
on a mountain
offensive.
somewhere. Well, that's what they used to do. But look up John Wayne as Genghis Khan. That's even dumber because
Oh, man.
they didn't even change anything, including the way he talked. He talked like John Wayne. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna fuck up these Russians. He talked literally like John Wayne, but he was dressed with like a fur fucking hat on. And,
Oh, that made me cry laugh.
So
Oh my god,
stupid.
that's so dumb.
oh my god, you got to see it. You got to see it.
How when they made that movie were they like, this is it, this is it? They
Well,
had to.
they didn't know. Everything sucked.
I mean, everything did kind of suck for sure.
There's only a few like Gone with the Wind. Like, whoa, what did they do there? There's like a few movies.
I know.
Citizen Kane. Like, whoa,
You're like, wow.
this one doesn't suck.
Yeah, this
how
is
weird.
impressive. I got lost in the
Yeah,
film.
Look at him. There I am. Genghis Khan.
I mean, the likeness is a little.
Amazing. That's who he is.
Wow.
you imagine?
Look at that beard.
He went from playing like a fucking sheriff in some Wild West town to Genghis Khan.
Hollywood was so whitewashed. It really, really was.
Well, they knew back then if they did a John Wayne movie, they would sell 1 million tickets. You know, that's really what the thing is.
I mean, an aspect of that is still going on. It'll
100%,
always go on, you know.
Sure.
And I don't know if you feel the same way. I get it to a certain point. Like when you go out in the comedy clubs and there's like a YouTube influencer booked on a weekend, you're just like, fuck. But then you're like, well, I kind of get it from a business standpoint. If they're filling the rooms, I did a gig in Arizona once, and they had a daytime gig booked from a YouTube influencer. They packed this place out at 11 a.m. with like 12-year-old kids as fans.
Was his name Bert Kreischer?
Yes, it was. It was the Bert Kreischer Day Show. He didn't take his whole shirt off. It was a crop top.
He wore a halter. Bert does those day shows.
He does.
He'll do radio, and then he'll do a show at like noon for people that don't have jobs.
Yeah, it's like work. Calling sick to work or something.
Yeah.
What does he call it? Something like that.
Yeah. Calling sick to work day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he took his shirt off at the Kings
this was
game.
so funny. That lady didn't know what to do.
He's looking slim.
Yeah, that is slim for Bert.
That's only like 19 months pregnant.
Yeah, that's a protrusion, and it's hard.
He's got an 8-year-old
in the belly. He's got an 8-year-old inside of him.
He has to take his shirt. He takes his shirt off in the OR now.
Every time?
Yeah, he used to take his shirt off only in the main room. It's like, well, the OR, I keep my shirt on. Now he decided no more of that.
Does it come off every show?
Every set. Right when he gets on stage, he takes his shirt off.
When does he decide when that happens? I wonder. Like, is there a moment? Just out.
That's how you do it.
Pre mic grab or grabs a mic?
Well, his body is a source of pride. He enjoys what the fruits of his labor.
Yeah.
And his appetite for indulgence.
I don't know if it's a body as much as it is a building.
It's a body. People know it's his body. They know he's the party animal. He takes his shirt off, and they go, "All right, it's Bert. Fuck yeah, woo!"
He's fun. It is a lot of fun.
There's an article that was written about that, like talking about. I was reading. This guy was like talking about how hilarious it was.
It is. It's a party. It definitely is a party.
An animal.
He is an animal, and sometimes, there's the opposite where people are just kind of quiet on stage, not put on a show.
If I could get a laugh just by taking off my shirt, I think I'd go for it.
Why not?
Start off with it. But now the problem is I think Bert owns it, which is weird. You know?
Like you think he should have some, like, a little bit of a feeling about it?
No, like he owns it. Like if
I see what you're saying.
Wanted to go up and take your shirt off, people go, what are you, copying Bert?
Mm-hmm. It's a good point. He's the only one doing it. He's the only comic derobing every time.
But there's some weird ones like that.
Bobby Lee takes his pants off. I mean, I've seen that weenie a few times, winking at me from the green rooms of the comedy store.
You should probably not tell people that.
If Bert stopped doing it, people will probably get mad now.
They'll get mad. They'll throw things at him.
He can't.
Yeah.
He can't not do it. They're like, take off the shirt.
Dudes will jump on him on stage, tackle him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a couple dudes who go clothless. They take off their pants and their shirts.
But it's weird that that's Bert's thing.
Yeah, it is weird. You're right, though. If anybody else were to do it, they would know that was a Bert situation.
There's another one like that we were just talking about the other night at the Comedy Store, like how crazy it is that someone like took over
like a thing?
Yeah.
A stand-up comedian?
I think so. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to remember. I
want to know what it is. Well, there's like there's a comic in New York who just snaps. Got like a snap every time and you know, Fraser Smith, I love watching Fraser Smith when he's like, "Come on, people, these are jokes," and he like snaps.
Snapping is funny.
It's like a timekeeper. I like that.
Right. It keeps you in rhythm.
Yeah, it keeps you in rhythm. It's musical up there sometimes if it's going well. If it goes well.
It's weird how people can become like a thing. Like this is the guy who talks about food. Like,
I know. I was thinking about that. Like, what comes first in that scenario? Does it naturally evolve, or does it happen once and then the person builds around it because it's a crutch? There's a fine line between the art and the
marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who, do your thing. Like, it's a short life. Why not find that little niche that works for you and fucking make that money and have fun and bring some joy to people? Who gives a fuck? I have a problem with people who talk shit about people going after what they're doing and finding a little trick to it. Who cares? Isn't what everybody's doing?
People get angry if they get tricked. God damn it, I got
that's
tricked.
true. That's true.
Fucking tricked. I can't believe this shit, dude. I remember there was this lady who reviewed video games. She was like talking about video games, and they found a video of her from years earlier saying that she doesn't even play video games. They were like, aha!
You got me. I knew
You
it.
don't even play video games.
I knew it. You're a
They were
liar.
using it as like evidence. I was like, this is during that whole Gamergate thing. I'm like, this is evidence that the world has gone mad. People are arguing over whether or not someone is a real video game player. You're not even a real player. You fake play.
People have too much time on their hands, man. Too much time, and they get stuck in that. They get stuck in that like web universe.
Well, not just that. Like, yeah, people change. Like, I wasn't playing video games just 3 months ago. Now, Jamie and Jeff and I, we're playing them every
You
fucking
game
day.
now?
We play this Quake game.
Oh, that's
We play
it's
it
a
against each
video
other. He's
game.
addicted to it.
Jamie fucked me up yesterday.
You beat his ass.
Beat me in the last one.
How did that feel?
Doesn't feel good.
Are you a good
It's
loser?
Fun. Yeah, we have fun. We talk a lot of shit.
I was just
though.
gonna say you probably talked a lot of
We
shit to
talk a
Jamie
lot of
after
shit.
you lost.
No.
Did you cry?
No. He did fuck me up on this one map that I was very angry at this map because you keep falling off of it. It's so whack. You
I
fall
wasn't
off and
falling
you
off.
suicide. Well, he did a much better job than me.
But he owned me on the other one, so it evens out. It evens out.
It's good
kinda
to play
evens
video
out.
games to a certain degree.
When the I like that one map that we play on because when you do go out, you do suicide, but it's not that common. That other one is just like every time. Like, and if you're jumping and you don't look behind you, you're like, fuck, you watch yourself fall
Yeah.
and explode when you hit the rock.
There's
How many
nothing you
times
can
did I
do.
explode? How many times did I fall?
It's some in the range of 30.
Not joking.
You really are new to it.
No. And here's me falling. Fuck! God damn it! Fuck!
Not again!
Fuck this map!
Shit!
Fuck this map!
Son of a bitch!
Shit! I suck!
God
Fucking
damn it!
suck!
What the fuck?
And then Jeff's getting good too. It's become a problem. Jeff fucked me up yesterday too.
I think it's good to have like. I wish I was good at video games. I'm not that
It's
good
not-
at
what
it.
do you wish? Why would you
Because
want that skill?
Because I think it's good, like the hand-eye coordination and just like I don't know, being
You
able to
gonna be a
relax
drone
and play
pilot?
a game.
You
I'm
gonna be
gonna
one of
fly a
them-
fucking Chinook.
You want to be them drone pilots
Yeah,
in Vegas?
I do.
So, what do you think about UFOs?
100% real.
100% real. You ever see one?
I did actually see one.
Really?
I did in New York City. This was years ago. I was walking downtown. I used to bartend at this place called Puffy's Tavern in Tribeca. Walking downtown, beautiful sunny day. And as I'm crossing the street, I'm just looking at everybody. Everyone's looking up. Like, what are these people looking at? I look up, and there's this like, I don't know, like a weird oval chrome thing in the sky, pretty far up, but you could see what it was. And I remember talking to the dude. I'm like, what is that? And he was videotaping. He's like, I don't know. We've all been standing here. It hasn't really moved. It just was kind of suspended in the air. Not a lot of sound at all. And I had to get to work. I'm like, all right, well, I got to go make cowboy cocksuckers for investment bankers. So let me know what happens. And I went to the bar, and it was on the news at the bar. And it was just this weird, it looked like that little bullet vibrator thing, or like a little suppository in the sky. It was like a
balloon?
yeah, like almost like a balloon, but a little bit more elongated. Very quiet. It was bizarre.
Like a blimp?
Nah, not like it sat upright. It was almost like if this was oval shaped.
Like a can. Like
Yeah,
a soda can.
exactly.
Floating in the sky.
Right, but oval.
Right side up.
Yep, it was bizarre. But that was like the only real time where I was like, what is that?
I remember being a little kid thinking that I might have saw something, but I might have just convinced myself just because I was bored.
And also, as your memory recalls, you recreate what it was.
100%.
But what do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember anything really.
Oh, okay.
But what I was going to say is I watched this Bob Lazar and Area 51 documentary.
Oh, boy.
Holy shit. It's really interesting. It's a lot more interesting than I thought. I always like to dismiss a lot of the UFO stuff because I'm always like, this is nonsense. This is so silly. But my friend Dave Foley, who I treasure and I value his opinion very highly, he told me that he started getting obsessed with UFOs. He said, thanks to you, I'm obsessed with UFOs. I'm like, thanks to me, I'm not even obsessed with them anymore.
You cause a lot of obsessions, I'm sure.
No, but he and I, when we used to work together on news radio, I was deep in my obsession with UFOs. I was convinced.
What kicked it off? Just hearing people's stories? If you only had one experience as a kid.
No, I don't even think I really did have an experience. I think I probably saw a jet fly overhead and was like, I think that might be a UFO. And then I talked myself into it.
That's weird that you had an obsession not based off of your own experiences. That's bizarre.
Yeah, I've always been super, super obsessed with space.
Yeah.
I think I had a really good teacher in 7th grade science, and I remember he said, if you really want to make your brain hurt, just look up and try to imagine something that has no end.
You're gonna
Try to
blow my
imagine that
mind
the
right
universe
now.
has no end. Just you want to hurt your head, just look up at the sky and understand there's no end to this.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because everything else in life and existence has a finality to it. Every single thing.
Yeah, we think. But this guy, when he planted that shit in my head, I remember thinking, wow, I never even thought of that before. Like, I just looked at the stars and I'd be like, oh, there's the stars. They look cool. Oh, there's the moon. I want to go to the moon. You know, like a dumb kid.
You don't have the perspective of, like, the vastness of it.
Yeah, but when I was 13, this guy said that. 13, maybe 14. No, 12. I guess 12. Somewhere in that range, 7th or 8th grade.
You just
Somewhere
started.
in that range.
Yeah.
I remember him saying that to me and then being obsessed with space after that. Obsessed. Like one thing that a teacher said. And I was immediately like, what? Like that was one of the first cool things I ever heard at school. You know, where someone...
It is cool.
Well, he was a cool teacher. He was a Vietnam vet. There was a couple of these guys that were Vietnam vets that were super scary. They were scary.
It's good to have a teacher like that, though. So many, like, that whole thing, like, our education system really fails a student sometimes, but have teachers who invoke curiosity out of children, who actually care and have a, interesting curriculum that they bring to the table. I only had a couple teachers like that I can really remember, but...
Yeah, I had I think 3. The 3 teachers that I really remember, they're like, wow, that lady was so nice.
Out of your entire schooling.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I had a really cool, Miss Lutwin was my first grade teacher, and she'd have us line up outside of her door, and she always had a pop collar. She always smelled good. She always had a pop collar, and when you'd walk in her classroom, if you had a collar, she'd pop it. So everybody sat in class with a popped collar.
That's hilarious.
And it just brought this like
Fun
cool
to the room.
mentality.
Right.
Like we felt like we were our own little clan in there. Like the Miss Lutwin clan. That's what it was like.
When did you know that you wanted to be a comedian?
Early on, like 8 years old. I was
Really?
young. Yeah, I was entertaining my sister.
No shit.
But I didn't know that I could make a career out of it because where I grew up, there wasn't those like outlets. There, we didn't have like theater or any sort of cultural exposure that I could, adhere to and just be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to be...
No gay people. That's what you're trying to say?
Thank you. No gay people. Well, we did. They were hiding because they didn't want to be murdered.
Ha, LOL.
LOL, JK.
How old were you when you first went on stage?
19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was 19 years old.
I thought you had to wait until 21. I didn't realize afterwards that you can get into a bar as a performer.
I
You just have
know.
to make sure that you don't drink.
Yeah, there was this cool place called the Cantab Lounge, which is you're Boston, right? But
Yeah.
you know all about it. Cambridge area had this bar called the Cantab Lounge, and downstairs there was this little performance space called the Third Rail. And I used to do improv for like 6 months, and then one of the dudes was like, "You should try stand up. You might like it." And
So this was in Cambridge you were doing this?
yeah,
Oh.
that's where I started stand up in
What year was
Boston.
this?
This was I was 19. I'm 36 now. What
I'm
year?
not doing that math.
I can't do that math. I thought you would. You're the scientist. I'm the doctor. I don't have time to do math. I have to
I'm
write
too
prescriptions.
busy with my calculations about the size
I
of
have
the
to go
universe.
get my stethoscope. I can't do the math.
I
probably
think
about
you were 22. Is that what it means?
I was 19.
19?
I don't know what year it was.
2000. 20. Oh, I was. 22 years ago.
2006.
23 years ago.
Holy, 23 years ago. What?
80 years ago.
Fuck, you were bad at math, just like me. Well, it was whatever that.
I'm not even counting. I'm just making numbers
Whatever
up.
it was.
So, you're 36 now.
Yeah, I was 19.
You started stand up when you were 19.
Almost 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
almost 20 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad was there. Actually, I have it on tape.
You have it on tape?
I do. The first time I ever did
Don't
stand up.
watch it.
I
It'll
did, and
probably
I
fuck your head up.
It fucked me up for months.
You're like, God damn
Dude, it fucked me up for months.
Why did I think I could do this?
And like it was just everything you could imagine. It was. It was all the things.
All the things.
It was just all the little
Clumsy.
clumsy and fast and not rooted in like a narrative about my life. It just was sort of a reflection of what I saw.
Yeah.
Essentially, you go up there and you imitate something until you have your own voice. For the most part.
Yep, for sure.
But I have it on tape, and I'll never forget. We even videotaped afterwards. My dad came out from Syracuse to watch it. My dad, he's since passed in October, but he came out. He was there for my first stand-up show, and he's like, "Babe, you're gonna be fine. Dude, my dad's not in the industry. He doesn't know shit. This dude was like, he sold real estate and bartend. Like, he wasn't like in the entertainment industry, but he's like, babe, you're going to be fine. You're great because you got high energy. He's like, you're going to be fine because you're up there and you got high energy. That's what the people like. And I was like, all right.
Like.
Okay, Dad. So I just kind of always thought about that, like, aspect of it. Like, just my physicality and not feeling embarrassed by it, Like,
did you ever say to your dad, hey, what about Stephen Wright?
Yeah, he liked comedians like that. One of my dad's favorite comics was Stanhope. He loved Stanhope. I'll never forget, I did a show with Stanhope in Syracuse, actually, and my dad was sitting next to me while we were watching Stanhope, and he leaned over. He was like, man, the mind on this guy. It's like one of the brightest people I've ever heard in my life.
Your dad should get out more.
He's in a grave now, so... He's only getting out as a ghost. He's probably a drunk ghost at some girl's house right now because he can't find mine.
Stanhope is getting ready to film another special.
Yeah.
Very excited to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Stanhope he's like he's like the equalizer when it comes to what's going on in society. He just has a way of being like, boom, this is what's going on with gun control and with people being offended by terminology and words. Here's why it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's good like that.
Well, he works, he's a guy that he works on his own schedule. He decides when to write, when to perform, when to tour, when to do it. And he was always like, I might just fucking retire. And then right back at it, new special coming out next year.
Yeah,
he's always working.
He is always working. He has his own
I'm glad he's
lane.
out there.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love watching him.
I'm glad he's out there because he's just like, he's basically an older version of the guy he was like 20 plus years ago.
Absolutely.
He's not changed at all other than like become more wacky.
Yeah.
With his fucking goofy suits that he
buys.
Goofy
suits and his goofy suits.
Those fucking suits every time I see him with these But here's the thing, like that's one of the things, like he owns the suits.
I was just
going
to say, no one can wear the suits.
If you wear a goofy suit, like a really shitty suit like Stanhope wears
like
on stage,
a dusty peach colored suit with ruffles.
He wears
Get the fuck
like
out of here.
loafers like an old man from Caddyshack days.
Hell yeah. He looks like he used to sell cars 20 years ago and kept the outfit.
Yeah.
And
He's
I love it.
Fraser Smith's long lost cousin.
He looks like a ghost.
Toledo. His cousin from Toledo sells cars.
He looks like a ghost from the Titanic.
He rents out clowns.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at
those shoes.
He's a rock star.
Look at those shoes.
But you're right. That's his thing.
Yeah, that's his look.
No one can do that.
Terrible suits. And he's been rocking this look for quite a while now. Like he used to dress like a normal person.
Well, semi. I mean, there was always a level of eccentric.
Yeah, but he could replace
outfits.
his entire wardrobe for $40. You could go to a thrift store.
That's a luxury.
Yeah, I mean, you could get that jacket for $2. And it's amazing that he finds them all that seem to be tailored. It's like
he gets them fixed.
He's a fraud. He takes these shitty fabrics to like a real high-end tailor, and he has them like slim fitted. And
he gets them.
He pretends he finds them.
He does. Well, he finds some of them. But he definitely gets some nice tailored.
Look at that shirt.
It's a bum jacket.
That shirt. It's not bum though. It's all nice and clean.
No, it is nice and clean. But I'm saying he looks like a bum that struck it rich real quick. Like he got money fast and didn't know what to do, so he just bought the same suits but cleaner.
No, if a bum struck it rich, they'd be wearing like the finest things that
really?
they saw in the windows of those department stores when they were on the outside.
You think you just go from living like in a garbage bag to Prada?
Yeah, that's
really?
what I think. Yeah, once you got on your feet and cleaned up and stuff,
I don't know if I could.
A couple of days to get used to the fact that you're rich now.
I don't know if I'd be able to. I don't have a knack for fashion. I'm in like a gangster hillbilly overall outfit, but
it works.
I don't know if I'd be able to like just know what to wear after being homeless for so long.
First, you got to kick the heroin
and the piss-stained shirt.
Yeah, you got to kick all that.
Yeah.
You got to clean your body up. You got $100 million in the bank now, Claude.
That's what I'm saying. There's a little bit of a process.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going from like shit-stained shorts to Gucci pants.
Well, most people don't even make it. You know, like when people win money in a lottery, like they almost always spend it all or go crazy. It's like, I don't think people get adjusted to that idea that all of a sudden, boom, somebody just drops off a giant chunk of change. Like if you got inheritance money from grandpa, leaves you $1 million, like you're going to burn through that shit.
Most people, I don't even think it's reserved for homeless people. I mean, like rappers, athletes, comedians.
Yeah.
It's like that's what goes back to our education system. We're not taught financial responsibility in high school. We should be.
Listen, it doesn't matter if you teach comedians financial responsibility. Most of us are not going to follow it. We're
I was lucky. I was
and
like
impulsive.
I wanted to just at least have something saved for the future because I knew that about myself that I did not know enough. So I started to save some and do a little bit of Googling.
Yeah. For every Kevin Hart who has like real knowledge about finances, there's like 4 dudes like me. I just have no idea what's going on.
Who's got like a custom gym and 16 cars on the way.
I'm not thinking. I don't have any time for thinking.
But do you like that? Like, what, as a woman, our indulgences are like, going to the spa or maybe shopping. Like, what's your thing? Like, on a day off, what do you do that brings you joy that is a commercial...
Like a material thing?
A material thing. Obviously, you like your cars and stuff.
I enjoy cars, but I enjoy... I'm a big fan of engineering. Like, I love mechanical things. Like I think my favorite car, I have this car that doesn't have any power steering, doesn't have air conditioning, and it's got an air-cooled engine. It's one of my favorite cars.
What is it? Which car?
It's a 1993 Porsche RS America. It's a really light car. It's not really even that fast. It's not fast like a modern car. Like, it's definitely not fast compared to my Tesla. My Tesla is the craziest fucking car I've ever driven by far. Every other car seems stupid.
What model is it?
They seem dumb. It's the Model S.
I was just Googling that. Yeah. Whoa.
It's fucking preposterous how fast that car is.
And just the technology on it. And does it also have auto?
Oh, yeah. Auto drives, does everything.
How does that work? Like, if you're driving down the highway, if you set up auto, does it legitimately go to your destination?
You have to hit this little thing to switch lanes, to say that you want to switch lanes, but it'll switch lanes for you. It will drive with the speed of traffic, so it'll slow down when traffic slows down, speed up when traffic speeds up. It turns. It makes perfect turns.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So could you zone out and let it go?
You really shouldn't.
But just as an argument.
You probably could.
Wow.
You hold your hand on the steering wheel. Like, you're supposed to have light pressure on the steering wheel. Apparently... some crazy fucks have, that's what it looks like on the screen.
Wow.
They just updated it like last week. So
yeah, they updated it to recognize stoplights.
That is so, the future is now. That is so wild.
It's bananas, but someone told me, I don't know if this is true and it's irresponsible for me to even say it, but I'm going to say it.
Do it. This is your podcast. You're living your truth.
I'm going to go crazy. Someone said that you can bypass the touch sensors on the steering wheel that knows if you're holding on to the steering wheel with a tennis ball. You shove a tennis ball in there, and if you do that, you can just go to sleep. And the fucking things just drive.
Well, you know what? Modern Darwinism will take care of the rest.
Well, I hope not.
I like
people
do dumb things.
I don't want people to die in his cars.
I don't want people to die either, but people do dumb things all the time.
But there's a difference between those kind of cars and the cars that I really like. I like these mechanical cars. You feel the gears. Like, see, this guy's got a tennis ball. Oh, he's got an orange.
Oh, shit.
Stuck in there.
He's got a little citrus. See, citrus works for driving as well as getting rid of bacteria.
Yeah, he debunked Tesla's autopilot orange hack. Oh, he debunked it.
Oh, to see if it worked or not. I see.
It seems like it's working, though.
It does look like it's working.
So, you might explain.
But it makes you hold on to it like every now and then. It doesn't make you hold on to it all the time.
As it should. It failed.
The debunking failed. It actually does work that way.
How much is going on in your life that you can't... I enjoy driving. I enjoy the mechanism of it. I enjoy where my mind goes. I like blasting my music. Mm-hmm. I may or may not hit a joint, may or may not, allegedly, probably not, but, I enjoy driving.
Well, I do too, but I think if there was a button that you could press that said you drive, then the car just drives. You hit that button all the fucking time. Most of the time when you're in traffic, you just don't want to deal. You just hit that button.
That's true, especially in LA.
Dude, if I'm going to the airport, I get up in the morning and I just hit that button.
Yeah, hit that.
I'd be like,
hit that button.
Let's go, bitch.
Press that button.
And then I barely pay attention.
Tap that shit.
All the way to the airport.
Yeah, there's certain situations where it would be useful, definitely.
But when you're driving, like say if you're driving in a canyon, and, like you're up these hills and driving around these like beautiful scenic places, You want to be driving like a little sports car with a manual transmission.
Hugging those wheels. Yeah.
You want to feel it.
Grabbing the wheel and hugging the corners like
Jamie
a
doesn't
desperate
care.
person.
I feel like he can add that to the Tesla.
No.
Why not?
Why
You
not?
won't feel the gears. You won't feel the
They could-
grinding. You won't feel the shifting of the gear yourself. It doesn't have any gears. Like there's so many oral experiences you'd have to be lying to me about. First of all, here's one: the revving of the engine. Like when you get up to red line, when you're shifting gears, like there's a sound that especially like a really well engineered German car has when they hit those high revs.
Yeah.
It's it's a symphony of coordinated mechanics. It's all and you're shifting, and then you
really
you
good.
hit the fucking you blip on the downshift. Like on the downshift, you do what's called heel towing, where you got one foot on the brake and you go like this, so that as you're going from third to second, you give it a little extra juice, so that your engine RPM catches up with where the gear's going to be. When you get into second gear, it's going to rev higher. So and you're all it's like a coordinated effort. All these things are happening. It's not just like sitting there like with an orange on your steering wheel
Right, no.
driving around. There's something else going on.
I just came in my pants from that whole description of.
You know what I'm saying?
If he made fart sounds,
No,
then he can make
but
some horse sounds or something.
But here's
like
the
that.
thing: it doesn't matter if you make the sound.
I know.
I want to feel
Right.
the shift.
They can
you push
add
the
that.
no.
It's
Jamie,
all about the shift.
Jamie, you're pushing your foot into the clutch. You're putting the thing into gear. It's a mechanical action. You can't fake that.
No, you can't fake
I'm
that.
giving Elon. I bet Elon can fake
He's
it.
not going to. Listen, if he
what I'm
did,
saying.
it would be less good than what he has. What he's got is better than any other car.
Right, because it's
just-
the basic level of driving. It's not, you're not interactive with shifting and everything, which is probably the fun of having a car where you can actually drive it manually.
Well, there's a
feeling
bunch
all
of
of that.
things. First of all, with his car, they don't have any gears. It's just one gear. It doesn't shift. It doesn't change
That's bizarre.
RPM. It doesn't hit a red line and then you have to move to third gear.
Right.
Or it does it itself. It just has one gear. And then on top of that, it has this giant navigation screen. I mean, it's the
It is
craziest
huge.
fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. It's like 14 inches tall.
Right.
And then on top of that, it's got like all these safety features. It's looking at things and warning you about this, and shows you where all the cars are around you as you're driving.
Sounds like having my mom in the front seat. Sounds like just it's something over there, something here. Watch out for that, hun. It's like, all right, shut up.
But what if your mom was psychic and she was just sending it to your brain, just giving you? That's what it's like. 'Cause it's
Doesn't it
not
have like
saying anything; it's showing it.
Right, it shows it. It doesn't like say everything, but doesn't it have like a fart machine in there? I read that there's like a fart machine in the Teslas.
Well, you should read more. 'Cause
I
that's
saw
not
this
what
on-
it was.
what
it's
was
a
it?
whoopee cushion. It's a fart sound that it can make if you want it to.
Right. So when people
It's
sit
not
in
a fart machine, dude. A fart machine would make actual farts.
well, it can
Imagine
make
if-
it makes a fart noise though, right?
Yes.
Right. So I mean, essentially, it's a fart machine, just not like a.
Well, it's just
there's
a
no
sound effect.
mechanics
There's
to
no
it.
machine.
There's no machine, but there's like the.
Yes.
That's great. That's
And
that's
there's
enough for
different-
me to
there's
get the
different
Tesla.
kinds of farts.
What?
Yeah. You can have like wet farts, short little tiny farts.
Hookworm farts?
Probably hookworm farts. What do you think a hookworm fart would smell like? Like rotten fish,
Carcass.
some dead worms inside your body. Blech.
Like a river soaked carcass.
Have you ever seen an animal? I know you have a lot of dogs. You ever seen an animal shit out worms?
No, and I definitely don't want to, but now the image is just vivid in my mind.
I have many times.
Like, how many
Especially when
worms
were
are
a
we
kid.
talking?
Oh, like worms coming out of their butt. Like you look in their butt, you see like little worms. Yeah. You never seen that? It's super common
No,
with dogs.
it's crazy that I haven't because I have had so many dogs in my life.
That's
Does that mean that they're like not normal dogs? I haven't had them crap out worms?
well, they probably didn't get dewormed. You know, they didn't get their pills.
Right.
Maybe rescue dogs
Yeah.
before, the deworming stuff takes place. But when I was a kid, our dog had it. And I remember watching like little worms come out of her butt. I was like, this is crazy. Little white worms would wiggle around in her butt. And I was like, what in the fuck is this?
It's nature's weird, man. There's
I'd look in
something
her
feeding
poop.
on everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's an organism feeding on an organism. That's all this is. Just organisms feeding on each other.
Yeah.
It's one big fuck fest with organisms.
Or leech fest.
Yeah, it is a leech fest.
Yeah, well, these things, I don't think they fuck. Do you think those parasitic worms fuck?
No, they just probably separate. They probably
make
just.
eggs.
They just divide themselves. There's no sex happening. They're like, it's gross.
Speaking of fuck, did you see that python that they found in the middle of the Everglades? It was 17 feet long.
Oh my.
I Googled it. I saw this. This is one of the things I was talking about exotic pets. I Googled it. They get to 30 feet long.
I can't even understand that. That is ridiculous.
So then I went down a hole.
Oh, I did. I saw that
python
photo.
hole. The record 17-foot long python carrying 73 eggs captured in Florida's Everglades.
Another reason we should just get rid of Florida. Snap it off and push it into the ocean. There's too much craziness happening there.
Look at that fucking snake. Now, here's the thing that freaked me out. I found out those snakes get twice that length.
Ugh.
So this has only been going on apparently for like the last 15 or so years. They apparently didn't have a real population of pythons in the Everglades 15 years ago.
Did somebody's pet get loose? That thing had 73 eggs in it.
I know. No, it didn't get loose. Some asshole just released his snake.
Right.
Someone just chucked it out the window.
And then it fucks up the balance of the ecosystem.
They escaped from a breeding facility destroyed by Hurricane Andrew in 1992.
Well, that makes sense.
100%.
That's how a horror movie starts.
It is a 100% great horror movie. Somebody write that script.
Tens of thousands of Burmese pythons are estimated to now be living in the area. And that's just now. They've completely wiped out all the raccoons, all the skunks, all the rabbits.
It'll
There's almost
balance
no
itself
mammals.
back out.
Yeah, they're eating alligators now.
Nice. Those things eat alligators?
They eat
That's a video to see. Forget the dude naked at Chick-fil-A.
There's a photograph of one that died because the alligator chewed its way out of its body.
Nature is so brutal, man. Nature is so
goddamn ruthless.
But there's some beauty in that ruthlessness. Just that like undying desire for survival that exists in creatures like that can't. There's no empathy. There's no sympathy. They're just going to eat their way out of you to survive.
Yeah, there's something cool about it as long as it's not your 5-year-old kid that gets snatched up.
Absolutely. That's a goddamn nightmare.
Look at this.
I can't show this, but this is just for you guys.
So what is this one doing? This is
just one eating
the
and
video.
Not the one
Look at that.
It's a different one. I think this is an anaconda and a caiman. It says python eats alligator.
Alive.
Yeah, it eats the whole thing.
I mean, it eats the whole thing alive.
Oh, is that a python for sure?
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it is. It seems like it is.
That's actually a video of me eating a grilled cheese at 2 a.m.
God, look at how it is sped up, but look how it gets all the way down to the fucking tail. That is amazing.
I wonder if snakes have taste buds or if it's just for pure hunger.
Dude, just stop and think about what we're looking at here. This fucking snake just ate a whole alligator.
There goes a tail. Oh my.
And it's in its body and it's just going to break it down. Look at that evil.
But then he's got to go away and chill because they're vulnerable when they eat that. He's got to go and just hide hide under a canopy.
Well, that's why there's not snakes everywhere on Earth.
Well, now there are in Florida.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not everywhere because if they really could just eat and then go out and eat again, like real quick, like how a lion could.
Right. They would eat all the ecosystem would be destroyed. They'd eat up everything.
Where the alligator chewed its way out.
Ew.
Look at that.
Also kind of badass of that alligator.
It looks like the tail popped out.
I can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, maybe the tail, because those tails are very strong and they're so thick. It's like an armor.
Go to that website.
That's wild,
what it
man.
says about it. Jesus Christ.
That is really wild.
But that just shows you how hungry these fucking things are. They've eaten everything that's out there.
But also their ability to capture something and then kill it that's that vicious.
Right, an alligator.
Like, those are kind of hard to sneak up on and capture and hold on to.
I don't think they are.
You don't think so?
No, I think that's one of the reasons why it could get it so quick. I think they just lay around most of the time. And I think alligators don't tweak because they don't have any natural enemies until the pythons came along. I don't
because
think
they're so badass.
Yeah, I don't think they're equipped for this.
Yeah, they're probably not equipped for it. You're probably right. Where the snake found a vulnerability in the system. He's like, I'm going to snack on alligators.
I wonder how long it takes a snake with its nasty gut juices to break down alligator hide.
3 days, 3 to 4 days.
Really?
That's my guess. I'm going to say at least a week to break down all that. Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
It's got to have some gnarly, acids in its stomach to break that down.
Yeah, some shit like from the movie Alien.
Yes, like battery acid. It just burns right through it. Why aren't we using snake acid to break down rust on cars and stuff? We should be looking into that.
Yeah, it would clean up everything.
Probably would clean up everything.
An animated recreation of the python-alligator battle suggests that the python might have survived its massive meal, but that a second gator came to the rescue and bit off the snake's head. Oh.
Was that the alligator's bitch being like, no?
The force of the tussle, the new theory says, is what caused the python to burst. Whoa. So an alligator came and fucked him up after he ate an alligator.
A homie came and rescued him.
I don't think they have any homies.
Really?
No,
They
I think
mate.
they're assholes. I think they're assholes with tiny little brains, and they just chew things and suck them down.
They just fuck reptilian style?
Did you ever see that video of the crocodiles, and they go to feed them? And it was on my Instagram. Jamie, the one with the crocodile.
Little death roll
this lady
situation.
goes to throw some chicken out for the crocodiles, and the crocodiles snap up the chicken, and one crocodile reaches over to the guy next to him and bites his leg, bites the crocodile's leg, and just rolls.
Oh, God.
Snaps it off and
Oh, my
chucks
God.
it down, swallows it, and the other alligator, the other crocodile rather, doesn't even budge.
Oh.
He just got his arm bit off. He's like, what happened?
Oh, my fuck.
This is when you realize what these things are.
They don't give a fuck.
It's so crazy to watch.
They're
This thing
dinosaurs.
doesn't even freak out that its arm got bitten off and swallowed by his neighbor.
Well, I will say if I'm eating a really delicious sandwich and someone bites me, I'm going to be like, I'm just going to finish the sandwich. I have to be honest. How hungry are you? If you're very hungry.
Well, he's not even finishing. He's lying there, and the other alligator or the other crocodile bites his leg and then rips it off. Watch this.
That's some bullshit.
Just watch it. Boom. Now watch. They run in. See, this one's snacking up, and look, grabs it, and now watch. Gator roll,
Whoa.
death, snaps it off, and now watch.
No.
Chucks it down. Gulp. But look at him. He doesn't even do anything. What the fuck, bro? He just lost his leg, and he's like, what the fuck, bro?
I mean, those are not regenerative, right?
Yes, they are.
They are. Can he grow another paw?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, they grow other paws all the time.
That is so wild. Well,
That's
I want to put
insane.
some gator DNA on my face. I bet you that's really good for just like keeping your shit fresh.
Or you look like Scales. You want that?
That'd be kind of cool.
Forever? Scales?
I'd be a superhero. I could probably capitalize on it.
Then
Start
you
a
never have to
YouTube
worry
page.
about what you look like, right? Just glue
No.
Scales to your face.
Absolutely.
Just glue them to there right now.
I'm not going to wear any rouge. I got scales. I'm going to go out.
Some girl had to be the first girl to get a face tattoo. You could be the first girl to get Scales.
Probably a really long time ago. Some
When-
bitch got a face tattoo.
Well, most likely.
Tribal.
Yeah, most likely tribal.
Definitely a
right?
tribal. Maybe like one of those polyandrous tribes.
What is this, Jamie?
That's what it looks like inside.
Snake with an alligator inside of it?
Yeah. It does take 3 days for it to break down.
Look
Yeah,
at
that's
that.
what I
Powerful
figured.
scientist. Doctor slash
Coming
scientist.
into your lane. Better watch out. I'm a doctor and a scientist.
And you know all about gut acids.
I know about gut acids because I'm Italian. I've got agita.
I haven't heard of agita in forever. Agita.
Agita is a real thing. That's science. That's Sicilian science.
Hey, he's got the fucking agita.
I can't eat, meatballs. They give me the agita.
What's crazy about the Everglades is if this is how it is now, imagine what it's going to be like 20 years from now when these things just keep breeding.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few generations for that to balance back out. They need to put some wolves in that area and get it all back to where it should be.
Well, they have crocodiles in there now, too. There's been confirmed sightings of Nile crocodiles, not American
What?
crocodiles, Nile crocodiles, for the same reason.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah.
Where the alligators are?
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked because those are the ones that eat zebras and shit.
Yeah, they're gonna eat everything. They're gonna be eating. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah, they don't. Definitely. They be raping everybody in here. Remember that guy?
This is what I'm saying. He found a lane and he capitalized off of that little moment.
He did for a little bit.
Yeah, for a hot minute, and now we know who he is by just saying a phrase.
Yeah, I met him.
You did?
Yeah, I met him at one of the UFCs.
Oh, that's wild. How was he a gentleman or?
Very nice guy who's super confused about his life. Like,
I'm
what
sure.
the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Why am I here? Everybody knows me. Like, he went from being just a regular guy talking about break-ins.
Yeah, he was on the news.
Yeah.
They interviewed a dude on the news.
And he was so funny that he became like a viral star. And then next thing you know, like Dana White flew him out to the UFC. We were hanging out with him backstage.
That's
And
hilarious.
he was like, what is this life?
Wow.
Well, how about that, like, Cash Me Outside girl?
She is she's
rich as
a
fuck.
rapper. She's got like 20 million followers on Instagram.
Dude.
And she's rapping.
She's got a giant billboard on Sunset. One of
Yes.
them buildings where they have the whole thing. It's
Body
like,
B?
Yeah.
Body? What,
Something
how do you...
Bad Baby?
Bad Baby?
Bad Bobby.
Bad bitty
Something.
bitty
Whatever the
bippity
fuck she is.
boppity boo, whatever her fucking
Yeah.
name is. But sometimes when I work out, I put female rapper station on
There
Spotify
he
and
is.
she pops up. Look at
Look at his hair now.
living your truth.
Wait a
I
minute.
love it.
Hold on a second. Formerly gay.
Yep. Antoine Dodson.
announces his baby boy's birth after expressing his desire to get married.
That's a confusing headline, but live it. Do it.
He formerly gay. Well,
He looks great there.
you should be open to change. People who should be. Do you think that someone can be gay and then that it could switch over
Absolutely.
and they stop being gay and they start being attracted to women?
Well, absolutely. Why not? We're on a dot suspended in nothing that's expanding. Why not?
Why not?
I
Why
think,
is that so stunning to think, right? Like, what? Is that possible?
Because I think what you just said, some people exist in these comfortable bubbles and they have the routines and they fear change because of the exhaustion, because of what it takes. And then when they hear somebody else living a life that's outside of their little bubble regimen, they freak out because maybe it reflects their own inability to change themselves or their fear of changing. So I think a lot of that where people look at someone like Antoine Dodson who's in a wig and wears lip gloss, they're like, what's that?
First of all, you don't know that's a wig. That's hurtful. It could be his real hair.
Did I trigger you?
That's his real.
Do you have a hair sensitivity?
He has the exact same hair as Beyonce. It's his real hair.
I think the same thing when I wake up.
She's real too, by the way. That's a real woman. Okay, respect.
Beyonce?
Respect.
Yeah. Better
Okay.
watch out. Those hips will snap you.
So you can turn on people that way, like
Yes.
by bringing something up that they didn't even say,
Yep.
and then saying, "Don't ever fucking say anything about her." And you're
Right.
like, but I didn't.
You're like, what are you
the hell
talking
happened?
about?
All of a sudden, you're on the defensive.
Yeah.
Be careful, of people like that. Those
People are
sneaky
crazy.
fucks.
They are
And I know what
sneaky.
you're gonna say next. You're gonna say,
Yes. That's mental illness.
You're gonna say that Donald Trump is a strong leader. What? I wasn't gonna say that.
You're like, wait a minute.
You're gonna say that we need border security. I know what the fuck you're doing, racist. Like, no.
You're like,
no.
I'm just trying
Hey.
to have a conversation here.
I mean, we need some border security, don't we? What the fuck? God damn it! People get
Go
mad.
down that wormhole with crazies.
Dude, you ever see what the border looks like in Canada? The middle of the forest.
I would
Have you
imagine
ever
just
seen it?
like maple syrup fountains.
No, it's paved. It's like not paved. It's like trimmed. All the trees are trimmed, and
So
it's
people
like
can see and
100
hop
yards
over?
wide. There's like a path that's 100 yards wide. That is like the border between us. Like, say if this table was like barren
Right.
and there's forest on this side and forest on that side. That's what the path is like. The entire length of the connection between the United States and Canada.
That's trippy.
It's crazy.
That's trippy. Also, did you just call me Baron?
No, I didn't. I said it's barren, not you.
I was like, true, probably. That's
Might be.
wild. Have you seen it in person?
No. I just found out about it like 2 weeks ago.
That's really cool.
Crocodiles apparently can't regrow their limbs.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Are you sure?
I just looked it up.
Even
I
their
don't think that's
tails?
correct.
Other amphibians can, but crocodiles and alligators can't.
I guess they're
They
not.
can live without a limb or two, it says, but they can't regrow.
That's a
Damn, why
bummer.
did-
You would think they would, because you would think like genetically
That's
they're similar
100%?
like
I
salamanders.
saw it on a couple websites. I mean, I'm not the scientist here.
Well, if it's
Well,
on a couple
we know
websites.
you aren't, because he's
I'm
sitting
not-
right here.
I'm not a scientist either.
There can't be
I like
two
to be a
scientists.
doctor of something, though. It sounds good.
You're a doctor of
Dr. Rogan.
comedy.
Look at that.
There's
Look
one
at that.
picture of it.
There's
Wow.
the path.
That just looks like a power line path.
It looks like cocaine.
It does like a big line to.
Yeah, it's because it's snow. Look at this no touching zone.
I have the no touching zone
that's
too.
That's the zone right there.
That's all my zones.
Isn't that crazy? That's the border between the U.S. and
Beautiful.
Canada.
That's
By
beautiful.
the way, if you go up there, that is God's country. That is such spectacular
I would
woods.
love to blaze a blunt and walk that whole fucking thing.
It'll freak you out. Do you ever go hiking deep in where you got no cell phone reception and you get to...
And not like where it's that deciduous, but like in,
Look
like.
at you, deciduous. Second big word of the day.
Shut up,
This
Joe
bitch
Rogan.
is slinging the
I know I'm
big
in
words.
overalls, but I am somewhat well read. I'm a fucking doctor.
I forgot you were a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
I'd like to be a doctor of something.
I feel you're a doctor of. I feel you're a doctor of comedy for sure.
I don't have it though. There's no.
I know
you don't
there's
get
no
me.
mastering. You and I have talked about this before, and I said something like, I don't know. You were like, how's comedy? I'm like, I'm just trying to figure it out. You're like, none of us ever will. I'm not saying that like you're the end of it, but I think I was watching you on stage at the Comedy Store, and Hinchcliffe was next to me, and you're doing your set killing and having a great show, and this woman yells out in the middle of a joke, and you just kept fucking going. You were so disciplined. You didn't miss a beat. You didn't acknowledge her. You didn't give her any sort of energy or attention. You just were so like in your joke. And I just looked at Tony and he was like, I know. Everybody else would have went to her, totally just like abandoned their joke and messed up the flow. But you just, in that day, I was like, damn, I need to stick to my jokes more than like indulging people who are yelling at me from the audience.
sometimes you have to indulge it, and sometimes they are also going to ruin it for the people around them. That's the number one thing to, like, when people go, yeah, you just can't fucking hang. Like, people have said that to, like, Chris D'Elia. This lady called him, what did she say? She goes, you're a planner, not a comedian. A real comedian can deal with someone yelling something out. Like,
okay.
Chris told her to shut the fuck up and get out of there, and they kicked her out. And that was her thing, that you're a planner.
A planner?
And so every now and then I'll text Chris D'Elia out of nowhere, you're a fucking planner, bro. You're such a planner.
Comedians are the most unorganized people ever. If anything, they're the worst planners.
Sometimes you have to address them. Sometimes you do. The real problem is that they're fucking it up for the people around them. They think they're interacting with you, but they're not taking into consideration the fact that even if you don't like what someone's saying, let them say it, because there's 300 other fucking people in the room. And you don't get to decide. You're not the program director.
Right.
You don't get to decide what you like or don't like. And just because you're in front of that person, you yell something out. If the whole audience is sitting there watching the performance and the guy is working his way through some material, or the woman, by the way, sorry, let them fucking finish their shit, man.
Do you find you have, which gender yells out more, or is it equal?
Oh, it's equal. It's just dummies.
Equal men to women? See,
Yeah,
mine,
it's
I
just
find
drunks.
it's most women.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say for me, it's been like 95% women.
I think I'd probably say maybe there's a little bit of a little bit of a number difference in favor of men doing it.
Obviously, you probably have a more male-dominated audience than I would.
Yeah, but guys bring their girlfriends. The girlfriend's like, fuck him.
You listening to
You're
that?
always listening to him. He's a fucking idiot.
He's an asshole. Do you really believe what he's saying?
Enough people just listen. You can get confused and think you know what the fuck you're talking about. That's what he is.
That's exactly
He's
what he
confused.
is.
Just because a lot of people are listening to him doesn't mean he knows what the fuck he's talking about. And you worship him like, oh my God, do you love him? Are you in a bromance?
That's
Is that what's going
embarrassing.
on?
You should be embarrassed of
It's
yourself.
sad. I don't give a fuck what Joe Rogan
Yeah,
thinks.
it's not
Stop
a real man.
bringing that up.
God, he's
You don't even know him.
gross.
Disgusting.
He's very angry.
Ew.
He looks like a man-ape.
Ew. Ew.
Also, the appeal is that you look like a man-ape.
Well, I get it, gals. I don't want to listen to fucking Taylor Swift songs either. I get it. You know, if
Don't
you're in the
lie.
car and she's like, haters gonna hate.
You
hate, hate.
rock out to
She's got a
Taylor.
few songs that are not bad.
You've got daughters in your house. I know you dance to
Yes.
Taylor Swift.
I probably have if I've been hammered. But the thing is, it's like, it's not my thing. It's not like what I would listen to all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it's not my go-to. You know, and
Yeah.
people have different go-tos. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but if you get dragged into someone else's go-to, you got to grin and bear it. Anybody ever take you to a musical? Jesus fucking Christmas.
Man, it's a thing. I went to the one musical. I went to like 3 musicals. One of them I only went to because Stamos was in it.
We should tell everybody. Jessimae might have a bit of a stalker issue with John
I
Stamos.
am not. Listen,
it's stalker-esque.
I am not stalking. He's a very nice man. He reached out to me when my father passed. He was very nice to me. He
that's
sent a
very
message.
nice.
He was very, very nice.
Well, but joking aside, you do have about 100 photoshops of you with John Stamos in various positions, in bed, on a plane together, on vacation together.
Caitlin. I'm sorry, Caitlin Hugh.
It's obviously
my
just
fans,
jokes,
my fans
but-
make they superimpose me. I find a photo of his that's
All
funny, and I'm like, put me
day.
in this. There's one where he posted a picture of him on bed, like from like the Full House era.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody put me on the bed. And then I apologized to Caitlin. I always apologize to his wife
Do you?
and child.
That's
I mean,
very
for the
nice.
most part, I
Well,
try
it's
to.
a joke, but it's
a joke.
long-running joke that you've been doing for years now.
Are you kidding me? Like, I loved him as a kid, and I told this story before, but I had a poster of him above my bed as a kid that I literally kissed so much I wore a hole in his mouth. Don't you be rude. Don't you be rude, Joe Rogan. You never licked something to its completion.
Dude, you ate through the paper. Were you using
have done
tongue?
a lot worse.
Were you licking it?
I was obviously doing all of the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of the things.
Yeah. But I went to a musical. He was in Bye Bye Birdie. Very delightful, very talented man. And then I went to a couple others, but I fell
rude.
asleep in the other ones.
They're ruthless.
And the intermission kills me. It's like, why don't we just get it done? Let's just
They
go
are.
straight through.
Yeah.
I think
They
I would have
can't.
liked to see the Book of Mormon. That's like,
Oh, yeah.
that's the exception.
I saw that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I would
It's
imagine.
hilarious. It's
They're
really,
geniuses.
Really funny.
Those guys are geniuses.
Yeah. It's just really well read, too, or really well written, rather. It's really funny. It's a really good story. Like
And
the
they
way
have
did it's really
information in
cool.
there. They
Yeah.
obviously did their homework.
But I saw cats once when I was on a date. I was probably like 19.
Fuck that. Fuck
Oh.
cats in general. Cats are scary in real life. Why you want to go see them sing? And they're
know what?
standing upright. That's a nightmare.
You're a dog person, not a cat person. Is that what you're saying?
I would like a hairless cat. I would like a sphinx. I think they're cool.
They shit in a box in your house.
Perfect,
You want a
so
box
do
of
I.
Shit and piss in your house?
I'm going to change my toilet to be Roman. Fuck yeah, I'm going to shit in a box.
A bucket.
Yeah, they shit in a box, but that's a great thing. It's
gross.
Sometimes my dogs crap on the carpet if they're, irritable. But cats are weird, man. Cats, I don't know if you can trust a cat.
You could trust some cats.
You have a couple cats, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
You got a fucking zoo. I'm so jealous. I want to come over and just pet everything in your
Well,
house.
2 of my dogs died recently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Within the last, I guess it was probably almost a year now.
It was Marshall sad?
He didn't understand what was going on.
He looks like he's just pure joy and happy
He is.
all the time.
He's the happiest dog I've ever.
He brings
I've
me
ever
joy.
seen.
I just started following him on Instagram.
He's so happy.
I follow your dog on Instagram.
He's my buddy. I mean, it's so weird. Like
You can
he's
see
so
you guys have a
affectionate.
straight bond.
He's so affectionate.
Do you run him off leash in the morning when you go?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No tick issue?
No, he's been he's got tick medication that
That's
he's
good.
taken, but we have caught him with a couple of ticks on him.
With
in the
all that
past.
luxurious hair, those
Yeah.
ticks are probably like,
Woo!
we struck gold,
Yeah.
bitch.
He loves it though. He never seen anything in as pure joy as that dog is like running through the canyons.
Ah.
He just loves it. He's so happy.
How do you keep him so clean? I mean, I know you got that like Joe Rogan
Wash him.
experience money, but he is luxurious.
It's called water.
Well, I mean,
that's all it takes.
everyone else,
Their hair
pet
cleans
owners
up
have
pretty
water,
quick.
and I've seen these mangled
People
beasts.
don't take care of their animals.
They really don't, and they wonder
Yeah.
why they lash out.
Yeah.
Marshall's not like for cats. When you die, cats will start eating your face in like 16 hours. Dogs
I don't
wait
even
about
think
a
they
week.
wait that long.
Yeah, they probably don't even wait that long.
As soon as
Dogs
you
wait
stop
about a week.
breathing. Yeah.
They love you a little bit more. They won't eat you right away. I don't even know if Marshall would eat you. I think he'd wait.
Probably wouldn't even know what you were. Probably wouldn't understand it.
He would just keep throwing balls at you, just
Why?
rolling them over to you.
He would just whine.
My
He woke me up yesterday. It was fucking really annoying.
whining you,
He
whining.
just decides to get up. Like I got home from the Comedy Store at like 2, and then I watched some goofy. I've been on this UFO documentary kick.
Watching UFO documentaries.
Yeah, I told you it was David. I started talking about it.
Yeah,
but-
we were talking about that.
yeah.
What were you? Did you have something specific that you saw recently?
Yeah,
the
2 of
documentary.
them. One of them is Area 51, Bob Lazar and Area
Right.
51 and flying saucers. It's a documentary on this guy who claimed that he worked on these alien ships in Area 51 in the 1980s.
That gave me
And
chills.
As time's gone on, more of the things that he said have proven to actually be true.
Like what?
Including an element that he talked about, element 115, I think it was called.
Like an organism from outer space?
No, an element, like a man-created element. Like there's carbon. and-
Right.
there's an element that they created that he talked about way before it was ever publicized. And he talked about this thing, and then it turned out to be true. He talked about these. There's these hand monitors that you would put your hand on this thing, and these metal lines would detect the distances in the bones of your fingers, the exact distances, and everyone is different. It's like a signature thing. And that they could find out if it was you or not you that was trying to go through. So the way they would scan people, the bioscan, would literally measure the bones in their fingers. And people said
That's
that was horseshit. He
wild.
talked about this in the 1980s. People said it was horseshit, but then later on turned out, no, they did have that in Los Alamos. They did have that in Area 51, and that this technology was very, very
Advanced?
not just very advanced, but very not. It was not well known at all. Like very few people did. And this guy who was creator of this documentary, it was very difficult for them to get photos of this hand scanner. But this hand scanner did exist and existed exactly as this guy described it.
In the 80s? I mean, that's super progressive for that time.
There's also
Even
people
for now.
that did approve his top secret clearance to get to this place. They know that he actually worked there. There's people that worked in the same Los Alamos lab with him. They tried to say he never worked there, but his name's on the manifest. It's very strange. It's like they've tried to erase parts of this guy's past because he filmed a bunch of their crafts as they were flying around. Like he knew what days. This is the thing. That thing right there, you put your hand on that, and it actually measures the distance of the size and length of your bones.
That looks like something that's inside of an escape room in LA.
It does. It's hilarious. It's so true. But
Doesn't it?
I went into this documentary skeptical.
As you should.
Yeah, but I'm so done with all those things. But listen to this guy talk for a while. After a while, I was like, what if he's telling the truth? Like, what if he is actually telling the truth? Because if he's actually telling the truth, there is some part of the government that had access, at least in the 1980s, to alien technology.
I mean,
there
it
was
probably
spaceships.
is. There probably is some truth to that. Crazier things have happened. And also, like, just your mentality of believing him is probably the same thing that made Dr. Malachi Lovejoy Robinson III become successful.
A con artist?
Yeah. I mean, either this dude, there's validity of what he's saying in this documentary, which I can't wait to watch, or he's just really great at painting a picture. Some people are so good at convincing you
That's true.
of truths.
True.
There's, people with like borderline personality disorder and every sort of spectrum in between there. They become really good manipulators.
That is true. However, usually they do that in more than one avenue.
Absolutely.
And this guy's not doing that.
Yeah. So if
He's
it's just a documentary, then
Yeah, also hasn't varied his story. Like, I mean, he might have like changed the way he says things in terms of like the words he chooses, but the actual story is exactly the same as he was telling a long time ago.
Is this a self-produced documentary, or is
No.
there a production company
No,
involved?
production company
See, that's where
involved.
it's like, okay, there's probably some validity to this.
But this guy's been around for a long time. I remember reading about him and watching videos about him, 20 years ago.
I mean, don't you think you're somebody who you said and I know this about you. You love space. You're obsessed with that. The idea of what we are in the solar system and beyond. Like, how impossible is it to think that there could be a creature that could breach our atmosphere with some advanced technology and be able to just sort of chill, scoot around, scoots, magoots, check us out, and fucking peace out back up to wherever they're from.
I don't think that's how they would do it, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know exactly. They scoots,
Magoots.
Yeah, they just kind of cruise around. They're looking at us.
Well, he had an interesting
Little
analogy.
reconnaissance.
He said if you brought an atomic engine to these people that lived in the Victorian era and said, "Hey, this is a nuclear power plant. Like here, check this out." They would fuck with it. They'd wind up getting sick from radiation. They'd wind up dying. No one would understand what it was or how it worked. They would never figure it out.
Right.
He goes, why would we assume that this is only from that one time with this one device? Why wouldn't we assume that there'd be some other technology that maybe we'll create someday in the future? I'm paraphrasing him very poorly.
Yes, it's okay.
Or someone
You're a
else
scientist.
from another planet would create that we wouldn't understand at all. And he said, and that's what we were dealing with when we were trying to back engineer the propulsion systems that these things use. They use some gravity-based propulsion system. And it was something that would manipulate gravity in front of it. It's very, look, I'm too stupid to know the science of it. I don't know if he's if you were
You're
a scientist.
You're supposed to know these things.
Not yet. I have to get my degree.
Joseph
I need to
Rogan.
get a degree so I can call myself a doctor.
You should.
I just want to get an honorary one like Cosby had.
Why? It's gone now. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it anymore.
Back.
They
The
took that
honorary
shit
ones
back.
they could take back.
Yeah, take them back. He can't keep those.
Yeah.
He can't keep that.
Actually, I think he wrote an essay, and that's how they gave him his doctorate.
I
But that's
mean,
neither here nor there.
gross.
Probably got more than one doctorate.
I'm sure he did, and he didn't. He didn't deserve them. But I think, there's got to be stuff out there.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
But I like to say there's not. It's like, stop.
You think
Stop
this is just
dwelling
it?
No, I don't think it is. But it is entirely possible. I use that phrase too often.
And it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
You got to get a
get a
mashup of
new
all
one.
of those.
Oh, it's already out there. Yeah. It's hilarious. It's like 150,000 of them.
That needs to be on a shirt.
It's possible that we're the most advanced. That's possible
It is a possibility.
too, because something has to be the most advanced.
Absolutely, and something has to be the least. We could also be on that part of the spectrum.
Sure.
Maybe we're the last to evolve.
It's 100% possible.
And
Like if there's an infinite number of life forms out there, like if there's an infinite number of planets and there's an infinite number of Earth-like planets that can have beings like us on it, who's to say that we're not the most advanced? Maybe they're all like people from the 1820s.
Yeah, they're
They
still
haven't caught up to us yet.
chiseling shit. They're still doing,
I don't think they chiseled in the 1820s.
stone and chisels. But I'm talking like old shit. They don't even have pens and papers yet.
Like the orangutan that was
Yeah,
fishing with a spear.
Exactly. There's just a
Yeah.
bunch of advanced orangutans that are like, putting hieroglyphics in caves.
It's possible.
It is very possible.
It's totally possible.
But because we're just basing it off of our own experience and
Right.
perception of what we have been exposed to. We have no
other-
idea.
The other really interesting scenario is that they're time travelers.
Ooh, That's really that's exciting to think
what
about.
What they are is some being from the far distant future that understands that it could come back and observe us and see like where things went wrong, where things went right, but do so in a way that's as minimally intrusive as possible and occasionally interfere with things.
That gives me chills. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
Once you start fucking with time and our perception of it and how it exists and like being able to hop along that spectrum of it freaks me the fuck out. There's this movie I saw called A Ghost Story, and it's not a horror movie. It's kind of about that.
Is that Patrick Swayze?
No. It's a Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara, I think. Rooney Mara. It's
Whoopi Goldberg wasn't in it?
No,
She wasn't
no, that's Ghost. Oh, I miss Patrick Swayze so much.
Do you miss him?
I miss him. He's one of those actors I love.
If you could bring Patrick Swayze back and take away your Full House boy, who would you?
How dare you?
What's his name again?
Joseph Nathaniel Rogan. I don't know your middle name. I mean, that's a tough call. I mean, Swayze gave us Dirty Dancing. He gave us look at that.
Beautiful
Dude,
face.
What a beautiful man. He could
beautiful.
move those hips.
That was when he was a surfer, remember?
That was Point Break.
Yeah, he was the rebel surfer.
Dude, do you remember the video on Saturday Night Live of him and Chris Farley doing the Chippendales audition? Iconic. That's iconic comedy. That is like such a great crossroads between Beauty
Look at him.
and the Beast.
Him and Chris Farley.
Chris Farley put it all out on the table during this sketch. It is so funny. I really do miss Patrick Swayze, but
crazy that he was so fit, but yet he smoked cigarettes.
He did. Did he really?
Yeah, he died of cancer.
He probably smoked cigarettes to stay fit. Some people get stuck in that. You know, they are afraid of letting it go because they think it helps with their physique and maintaining the look.
Oh,
a lot of models do that.
Staying skinny.
Yeah, because it's an upper.
Yeah,
increases your heart rate and all that and whatnot.
It also kills your appetite, I think.
Mm-hmm, totally kills your taste buds. You can't taste anything. Everything is destroyed.
Ass.
Maybe you should smoke. That's the only way you should lick ass is by smoking cigarettes.
Imagine
so you don't
if it kept
taste
you
it.
from getting those brain cysts. Like you have to choose.
God, this is brutal, dude. You're making me lose Stamos and get Hookworm?
I'm just saying, Stamos or Swayze?
Stamos all day, bro.
Really?
Stamos for life.
Wow.
Sorry, Sways. See you on the other side. Whoopi and I will be messaging you later.
Stop for a moment and really reconsider what you're saying. Think about the great films that Swayze provided us with.
Okay, I
you
will
fucking
say...
selfish bitch.
I will say... oh, now all of mankind's entertainment falls on my shoulders?
Dude, Roadhouse.
I know. And like also... You know,
House.
I know. Now I feel bad.
House.
Well, when you look at his IMDb, come on, dude.
Pull up that poster for Roadhouse, please.
You're either going through 10 seasons of Full House or Roadhouse. You have a choice. Either Full House or Roadhouse.
Oh, no. It's Full House or Roadhouse.
Oh.
Dude.
I mean, okay. Indulgently and selfishly, it's Stamos, but on an overall spectrum, it's Swayze all day.
For mankind.
For mankind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Caitlin. I'm going to have to go with Swayze. Swayze all day.
That's what we said we were going to start doing, Jamie, is doing like fight companions for like terrible movies. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
Swayze against Stamos.
We should get barbecued and play Showgirls. That just had its 25th anniversary.
You have to.
People don't even know.
Dude, Showgirls is a cult classic.
It's an amazingly bad movie.
It's so epically bad. It's kind of like how I felt when I watched The Dirt recently.
It ended this gal's career.
It did it?
Basically.
No, not at all.
Didn't it?
No.
Did she take off after that?
She stayed pretty plateaued.
But she was on her way to being a gigantic superstar. She was the star of this movie. She's super hot. She's half naked.
I think she took this movie. I'm speculating, but I thought she took this movie because it was going to be the next thing, and it ended up being such a brutal failure that maybe I don't know. It's so good. It's so bad. It's good.
It's crazy. And it's got great actors in it too, like Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan. That guy's a great actor. She's not a bad actress either.
Gina Gershon.
Gina Gershon's in it.
Dude, she was in that.
She's amazing.
She was in Bye Bye Birdie with Stamos on Broadway. She was amazing.
What's the cast? Scroll back all the way up to the top.
That is a great cast.
Just go to the all, not just images.
I mean, her body was amazing in this, obviously.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Remember Demi Moore when she did that stripper movie as well? She
I
was.
thought you were going to say G.I. Jane.
Oh, she was amazing in G.I. Jane.
Yeah, I don't
But didn't Demi Moore do a stripper movie
My
too?
favorite part, G.I. Jane, Elizabeth Berkley. My favorite part in G.I. Jane was when she says, suck my dick. I was like,
I need to put that on a t-shirt now. Just she said suck my dick in that movie?
Yeah, she was like on her way to being a Navy SEAL. Remember?
Oh, that's great.
She's doing all the G.I. Jane. She's going through boot camp.
I remember,
Suck my dick.
I remember those like
She says, suck my dick. Strip tease. That's right.
Striptease. Dude, Demi Moore's body in striptease was all the things. She was so banging in that movie. She's
Was
so
she?
beautiful.
How do you
yeah.
remember?
I just I
Does
mean,
this movie burn into your head?
it's just one of those movies
her.
that
Damn, she's
I
pretty
remember. She was like jacked in that movie, and dancing very awkwardly. The very awkward stripper dance that happened.
What's going on with that outfit?
It looks like she belongs on a wedding cake.
That's like something on a television show.
Yeah.
The Tonight Show.
It looks like Telemundo.
David Letterman.
What do you think she's doing these days? Some people get super, super famous where they're everywhere and then they go, I'm done.
I think she's just chilling.
You think so?
I hope so. I hope she's just chilling and just kind of, what's she gonna do? Another movie?
Maybe.
Maybe an
Is that
indie?
okay? What are you
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely.
An
Maybe she
indie?
should do
Why
an
does she have
indie.
to do an indie?
I don't know, because it would tap into a different era we haven't seen
What
in
are you,
her
a
career.
manager now? You're a manager and a doctor?
You're asking me where she's good, where she is. Why she's taking a break. We got a couple projects on the table.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what she's gonna do.
I don't know either.
Who's-
I didn't expect you to like defend yourself that way. Like, what the fuck? Maybe she's gonna do an indie? I don't know. And I'm like, no one's pressuring
Wait.
you, Jessimae. This is marijuana. You're still high. It's 3 hours
high,
later.
I've been high for 4 days. Who's your celebrity crush?
I don't have one.
You don't?
No, I'm good.
You don't have like a like a fantasy chick?
No. Maybe Madonna from the 80s.
Wow.
She was young.
Bold choice. Pointy bra?
But also, you know that she was never going to get hooked on you. She'd take off.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, okay,
Non-committal.
well, go do your thing. Take
Yeah.
care. you know.
I liked her because I
she-
knew she wouldn't like me.
Yeah, I knew she wouldn't like me for long. That's a real strategy that some men employ. Like, this one's not going to last. It's great.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, that's the allure of the positive independent woman. Powerful, positive, independent woman. It's like she's not needy.
She's not going to need me.
Yeah, she's not needy at all. She's like, yeah, well, see ya. There she is. Dirty.
Yeah, look at that
That's
outfit.
Madonna from the. That's all real too.
Oh yeah,
There was no-
that's from her closet for
nothing
sure.
fake.
She's in like dudes briefs and some like doilies on her legs.
And apparently she liked the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, she liked to smash. She had Warren Beatty, Sean Penn, Bad Boys.
Did you see this movie that this is the 3 identical strangers
Yeah, these are the
movie?
3 identical.
No.
These are the twins that documentary is about. You haven't seen 3
No.
Identical Strangers?
Dude.
No, I heard it's amazing.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I almost brought it up the other day because you guys started talking about something. I forget which podcast it was. That this movie sort of bleeds into, not spoiler alert, because this movie's been
We
out for
can't
a little
spoil
bit,
it,
but
right?
like genetic testing type shit.
Yeah.
Back in the
It's
day, like in
crazy.
the 50s, right? They were doing it like in the 50s and 60s in like an orphanage.
Yeah, I need to find some time to watch that because
It's
everybody
really interesting.
recommends it. Yeah.
Just when you think like a revelation happens and you're like, what the fuck? And then another one happens, you're like, this has got to stop.
Damn.
And then you're just like, holy hell. And then it's just a thing where if somebody wants to get something done, sometimes they take really drastic measures. It's selfish and it's terrible and it breaks all ethical, rules. But I don't know.
Did they do it well, we're spoiling alert. Did they
It's
do
fine.
it as an
It's
experiment?
been out for a while.
They do it as an experiment on these guys on purpose?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a psychologist who wanted to find out stuff. And he
Who
just
was-
did
Jesus
it.
Christ. They
Running an
separated
orphanage.
kids?
Yeah.
Running an orphanage and not and withholding information from the families.
Oh my god! Just to find out how it would work out.
Well, what they were doing was nature versus nurture. They were
Right.
seeing what effects it has on a child based on how it's raised.
Wow.
By the socioeconomic status of the family, about the neighborhood it's in, about the type of unit, the love, all of those factors, and what results it has on the individual. Right? Wouldn't you say, Jamie? That's kind of
Yep. And the data, they have a bunch of data apparently somewhere, and it never came out. It's missing. It's gone.
The
Lost.
files
whole
are just
study
gone.
It disappeared.
years of them basically ruining the lives of children, and the effects of that is just dissipated into thin air. It's such a heartbreaking story, but it's also very interesting. And that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. Like, how would you ever? not that needs to happen, but there is a question. I mean, you're a father.
How would you find out unless someone did something like that?
Right.
You would just guess.
I mean, we could look at like all the things that are happening in society, especially with like mass shooters and people who commit these random acts of violence and go back to their upbringing and their rearing. I'm pretty sure I would take a gander and a guess that they probably weren't raised with the most amount of love.
There's certain things that you don't really know how it's going to work out until you experiment.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's a little brutal, but...
Right. Well, people are scared of that kind of thinking because that's where Hitler came from.
Yeah.
That kind of thinking. Like, I mean, you hear about some of the experiments they did on people.
Oh, man. That was scary.
This doctor supposedly, I think, came in with the Operation Paperclip.
Oh,
group
Jesus.
of scientists.
No way.
It goes that deep into it.
Oh, my God. That's horrible.
It's pretty fucked up. It's you know...
Operation... Do you know what Operation Paperclip was?
Wasn't that something like a Hitler thing back in the day with babies?
No. It was Nazi scientists that were taken from World War II. So the United States took Nazi scientists, including Werner von Braun, who was the head of NASA.
Right.
A bunch of other scientists and all these Nazis that were working for Germany, making rockets and involved in like high-level science.
I never heard about
They brought them
that.
over to America and sort of whitewashed the whole thing. They called it Operation Paperclip.
Holy hell.
Werner von Braun, when he was at the head of NASA, he was a fucking legitimate Nazi. Like, the Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if he was alive today, they would prosecute him for crimes against humanity.
Oh my God. I feel like there's still a sprinkling of people in there from that sort of
They've chased those guys down to the far ends of the earth.
Dude, that's
and
scary.
Caught a bunch of them.
Those are very powerful positions to be in, to have that sort of mentality driving it. That's scary as fuck.
For sure. You know what's really crazy is Argentina. Argentina and South America, a lot of Nazis went to Argentina and South America. They fled Germany. And Tim Kennedy, who's a good friend of mine, who's a former UFC fighter, who's a soldier, he was on a show called Finding Hitler, where there's been speculation over the years because so many Nazis landed in South America that Hitler had escaped and lived out his life in protected by these other Nazis in these South American towns. There's towns in South America.
People think that?
Dude, there's towns in South America where all they do is speak German. They have Oktoberfest. They have photographs on their walls of their grandfather in SS garb.
That is very, very scary.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
That's very scary.
He blew me away when he was telling me about this and he's a no nonsense guy. So when he's explaining, he's like, you got to understand, you're coming to these towns. Everyone is German.
Oh my God.
They all look like Germans. They all talk German. They all have German like houses and German like the like German style stuff in their house.
That's bizarre. I mean,
fucking crazy.
That had to be what happened. I'm a believer.
It's maybe not what happened to Hitler.
Right.
They're pretty sure that Hitler died.
But I'm sure they relocated. That's definitely what happened.
No, they did.
Yeah.
See if you can find that. Yeah, Jamie will find something.
That is so...
Dude, it'll blow you away. This is South America. Look, it looks like a German town.
It does look like a German town.
Dude, it's crazy. There's a whole village of these fucking people.
I mean...
And there's not just one. There's many, many of these little pockets.
That looks like an Oktoberfest bar. That's really bizarre. I mean, that one looks a little Japanese.
Well, there's videos, though, where it's really
German.
crazy. They're drinking out of steins and, like, the whole deal.
That's really wild.
Dude, it's crazy.
Well, obviously, we couldn't get them all. I mean, they had to flee somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're going to set up shop, make it their homogenous.
They saw the shit was about to hit the fan and said, listen, I know a place. We can get some cool margaritas. We can catch some fucking toasty waves.
Margaritas!
Let's do it.
Y'all want a day drink? Let's bring Oktoberfest. South America.
Come on, bro.
That's wild. I never knew that.
Oh, I didn't know it either. It's crazy.
That is really crazy.
Jessimae, I think there's too much to know.
There is too much to know, but that's one of the great things about the stuff you talk about on this is you got just like a plethora of information.
Useless. Most of it's useless. Most of it's useless.
I don't know if it's useless.
Yeah, wasting time.
It's useless if you don't do anything with it.
Dude, I've been taking CBD with THC.
Oh, that's great. THC delivers it.
Got a bit of a problem.
What's the matter?
I've been high every day for the last 6 days.
Same.
I pop these little tablets in the morning. It's CBD and THC. It's not a lot of CBD.
1-to-1?
And yeah, it's 1-to-1.
Perfect.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's they work with each other and they help. The THC helps deliver the CBD and vice versa.
You feel great.
Yeah, you feel balanced.
Yeah.
You feel like energized, clear. I don't know about you. I feel clear.
No problem in terms of like feeling foggy or fatigued.
No.
It's just the right amount. But I fucked up and took one an hour before I went to bed last night. I went to bed at a sensible time. I knew I was going to do a podcast with Jessimae.
I did as well.
I want to be awake and fresh.
And then I got you baked.
So that's fine. But I went to bed and I had taken one like an hour or so before I was in bed. I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning, bang.
Ready to go.
Freight train full of ideas. Whap, whap.
Was it panicky or did you write some stuff down?
I wrote.
That's cool.
I keep my laptop right now by the bed.
I started
right
doing
next
that
to the
too.
bed.
I just near in the bathroom next to the bed.
Yeah. I literally, if usually everyone's else asleep, I grab the laptop and I just go into the other room and I just start writing. But I keep it in the bag. I put it right by my bed. So if I have an idea in my head, twice I've written bits that came out to be like real legitimate bits because an idea came to me while I was lying there and I said, I got to just try this.
Yep.
And I just run in the other room and I start writing and then boom, it becomes a bit. Not
That's
always.
wild. I mean,
but
not always, sure.
Twice over the last year, like legitimate bits have come out of just a random thought that it was popping through my mind while I was laying in bed.
Now, were you on the marijuanas both
Yes.
times?
Yes.
I mean, there's something to it, definitely, when you have a moment to escape, because our brain's like inundated with information all the time. Just daydreaming, being bored. That's where the creativity for me is the most active. Like getting a good nap, or even just in a dream, you think of something, like in the shower or driving. Those are where my ideas. I've had this similar situation where I'm like, oh, this might be a good joke.
Yeah, that's the argument for ignoring phones too, that you allow yourself to get bored. And when you allow yourself to get bored, then that's when these creative ideas will come. Like if you're in your car, like that's the other thing about that little car that I was telling you about. It doesn't have a radio.
Ooh, that's great.
Yeah, no radio.
So you have to daydream.
Yeah, you're not just daydream. It's like you're tuned into the thing as you're doing it. Blah, blah, and you think about stuff. Like I used to come up with some of my best bits when I first started doing comedy. When I was delivering newspapers, I would deliver newspapers in the morning and out of my car, I'd chuck them out the window.
How old were you?
21.
Wow.
And when I was doing that, I would come up with some of my best bits when I wasn't listening to the radio. I was just driving around, and then I'd have an idea. Why is it that what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
I'd just be thinking to myself, almost like those hours became productive.
They are.
Yeah.
It's daydreaming is probably one of the most important things you can do for your brain, especially for creative people and people in general. You know, I think when you're doing something that requires you to do something mechanically, like driving, even just washing your body, paper route, anything that you sort of have to do this like regular machine thing, your brain sort of just can roam in the woods and just pick off little ideas off the trees, and you know, you're able to sort of give your brain a break.
Yeah, your brain doesn't always need to be stimulated externally.
Fuck no. That's probably one of the causes of mental illness. That probably is attributed to a lot of neurological issues down the road. Like
probably, yeah.
Your brain needs a break. You know, those synapses can't be firing all the fucking time.
They got shit to do.
They got shit. Give them a nap.
Give them a nap.
I'm exhausted. You know, the brain needs a break. But yeah, I think of random things sometimes in the shower.
Yeah, you can do that while you're driving. You could do that while you're in the shower, running. Like I like to run and listen to books on tape, but sometimes I just like to run and just listen to my voice, just the breathing, and then you get into this like meditated state. Yeah.
That's deep.
Deep, bro.
Oh, it's so deep.
Whoa. And on that note, it's already noon.
It is?
Dude.
Fuck.
Yeah,
That was like
12:05.
3 hours of hanging out with you.
Yeah,
and still it's not enough.
We started a little late because we had some Crashcaster
And we
issues.
also started late because you had me on these I was going to say machines.
Oh, that's a sponsor, the So Right.
These are amazing. I have like chronic stiffness in my neck from traveling and sitting awkward, and Jamie was nice enough to give me one of these.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're great for like releasing those weird, hard to get muscles in your back. You lie on that thing, and it really digs in, and it's like real light too. You can carry it and take it with you. Who was the first one? Was it Michael Chandler told us about it? Yeah. He was the first guy that it's for the psoas muscle to target it.
Yeah, that where the V, where girls who like that V formation, that muscle down there, the dudes who have the V. You probably don't get it because you're a guy. Yeah, Jamie was talking about.
I think that's not a scientist.
Let's just go with that's what
Wait
it
a
is.
minute, you're not a
'Cause
scientist
you're,
either?
I thought you were a
I'm
scientist.
still studying. I haven't been approved.
What kind of fucking podcast is this? I am a goddamn doctor.
Jessimae, tell everybody how they can find you on the internets.
You can find me. My website's jessimae.com. I'm at Queefy May on Twitter.
Queefy May on Twitter.
You made fun of me because of that.
Instagram is
Jessimae Peluso, and you can check out my Sharp Tongue podcast.
And she's touring all over the country. Hilarious stand-up comedian, my friend.
I love you so
Jessimae.
much. You're
Love
one of
you
my
too.
favorites.
You're
Thanks
one
for
of my
having me
favorites
on.
too.
This was such
My
an
pleasure.
honor.
I'm glad we finally did it.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, fuckers.
I'm a scientist.